Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United Nation. And today, Happy New Year to everybody. Our first show of the year. And today we are joined with the full crew. We're going to start with the furthest, Adam from Australia. Adam, welcome to the show. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother, and to everyone.
And UK, representing UK, we have Vimal, the artist.
Hey guys, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Vimal. And from the USA, we have the controversial one, Bemsy. Happy New Year. Welcome to the show.
Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year.
And Chris, the smiling one. We welcome Chris. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Right. Guys, Man United won the last game by 3-1 by beating, who's they play now?
Burnley.
We played Burnley.
They beat Burnley by 3-1. It was a much improved game from the game they played previously, where they drew 1-1 with Newcastle. Everyone said, oh yeah, United are back. Are United really back? Because the next game is a home to Wolves tomorrow. So, Adam, what you saw against Burnley, was that a great improvement, a slight improvement? And can they now take that to defeat Wolves tomorrow?
I think the first half was, but the second half definitely wasn't. I thought the first half was quite poor, to be honest with you. I thought I was actually worried about that. I was chatting at the time at half time, and I said, what worries me is the second half, because we've come out and gone so well. Maguire in his usual shit-faced mood. He just drives me nuts, that bloke. He was poor second half. And I know it was Bailey's, Marcus Byers' fault, probably the goal, but he turned like the Titanic. He doesn't really help his partner out in any way. So, I thought the second half was quite poor from us. I want to see him put a full 90 minutes together for me to say they've improved, that's for sure.
Right. Vimal, United beat Burnley 3-1 after the debacle and Churchill's performance against Newcastle the 4 days earlier. Was there a great improvement from the Newcastle game to the Burnley game, or it was just?
There was a slight improvement. It's good to see a change in formation and personnel, because the first Newcastle game, it just didn't work. You had just too many random balls going everywhere.
Right.
So this time they played more purpose. They seemed to be applying a system, but it didn't look like a gegenpress to me. They weren't pressing all the time, but they were keeping the ball better. And I think Luke Shaw had a cracking game. Every time he got the ball, he was driving forward. So I think Ragnick's opinion of him has to change at some point, because I know that he came under some harsh criticism a couple of years ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. Ragnick wasn't impressed with Luke Shaw as left back. So hopefully he'll change his opinion on that, because I think he was pivotal to our attacking formation, and I think he got, what was it, 1 or 2 assists, something like that. So and Cavani played brilliant. He didn't get any goals, but his work rate was excellent. You could see, if you look at his heat map, he's all over the pitch. So slowly players are starting to adopt Ralph's system.
But do you think that's due to Bruno not being in the side?
Yeah, and Bruno was out. Maybe that was the Bruno not playing. Maybe that made a big difference.
It gave Scott a chance to step up, right? We know what he can do, but he doesn't do it every game. I've seen him do this once before, where he comes out with a couple of wonderful goals and
disappears again for another
disappears.
9. Right.
Yeah, but I was disappointed not to see Van der Beek.
Everyone, I think Adam's
not happening. Guy's gone.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
Right,
but Ragnick said he wants to keep him.
Oh,
well, what's the point of keeping him if you're not going to play?
Exactly.
You need someone to keep the bench warm.
Yeah.
Right. Let me bring in Chris.
Martial for that.
Chris from Houston Red Army. Chris, United beat Burnley 3-1, improved from the 1-1 against Newcastle. In your opinion, was there an improvement, or what did you think about that?
I didn't see so much of improvement having that with Burnley. The reason we won that game is the change of formation. Bringing in Luke Shaw and bringing in Matic and the other guy on the right side, the Wan-Bissaka. And that's the only reason we won that game. The 3 guys who came in, and having Matic in there, you saw what happened to McTominay. McTominay was able to go forward, and most of the time, McTominay was man of the match just because of having Matic playing behind him and Matic helping the defenders a little bit. Every time Matic plays on our team, we always have an edge of winning games because he's taller, he has a body, he's gonna help the defenders, you know. So most of the time we play Matic, most likely gonna get wins because he plays like a real like a DM. He's gonna help defenders and he's gonna keep the ball and he can pass the ball forward. He can do, but the thing is he cannot play all minutes, but he played all those minutes. But the reason we won that game is not like we're pressing. We haven't played no pressing game. I haven't seen any. I don't think gonna work with the players that we have.
Wow.
But we took 3 points and we move on.
Right. Bems, you saw the game, Man United against Burnley. Was it an improvement from Newcastle? Was it a big improvement, little improvement, or just, what did you think?
I don't think it was a big improvement, man. Honestly speaking, I don't think in my opinion, I don't think we played very well. Yeah, we won the game, but it wasn't entertaining for me. There were good moments in that game. There were a number of moments in that game that was quite boring to me, in my opinion. But you're playing against a team like Burnley, and I mean, I think what Ralph did, like he said in his post-match conference, was that he put a team out that'll be physical. McTominay and Matic have the size, they're tall, so they could match the physicality of the Burnley team.
Yeah, Burnley have tall players.
But as far as like the intensity and the press, it wasn't there. We basically sat back. In fact, Burnley pressed us more than we pressed them. We hardly pressed them. I do understand that you won't see that press, the gang press right now, but I would expect to see bits and pieces of it. Since the Crystal Palace game, we haven't really played at such an intensity. It's been I mean, you guys saw the Norwich and the Newcastle game. In my opinion, it was a good result. Yeah, we won the game, but there's still not I still don't see the Rangnick style of play in that team yet. And
Right.
It could be maybe Rangnick has no choice but to play this way because the players are just not going to be able to switch to the way he wants to play. Maybe that's the case. I really don't know, but all in all, it was a good result, okay performance, but not the way I want United to play.
Right. Thank you, Bems. Adam, now that we've all concluded that the Burnley game, yes, 3 points, 3 goals, we move on, but it wasn't that intensity everyone is expecting, especially at home, especially with everything that happened against Newcastle and Norwich. But it seems that, is it the players who cannot adapt, or Rangnick is still trying to figure out which players can do it? What's your take, Adam?
I really believe the players can't deal with it. I just don't think they're smart enough. Honestly, we've been seeing it for years now. Like, yeah, I'm with Bems on this. We haven't seen the press since Crystal Palace, which I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. In the previous few games, and I still see Bruno, even though Bruno never played on the weekend, I still see Bruno running through the forward line and everything like that, and pressing by himself. And we don't press as a team. I don't know whether it's the players or we just don't have the players. So,
Wow.
yeah, I can't say, look, we'll get into the game that we're playing tomorrow, but yeah, I just don't see how I can take that many games so far, regardless of COVID, to learn how to press. Rangnick's game is to press. Well, that's what I thought. I mean, I've never seen him manage before, but that's what everyone kept going on about. So,
Right.
and I haven't seen it yet, except from that the game that Carrick was involved. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. I'm
Can
totally
someone
confused with
kindly
the whole
mute the
setup.
phone, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, I'm totally confused with it. So I still don't see how Maguire starts. And like you can see, I always find in the first 10 minutes of the game, I get a good read on the way we're going to be playing. And that's what I was saying. I don't think, as much as we won 3-1 in the game, I just don't think we did anything special to win the game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
I just
Wow.
thought we're going through the motions, and I thought,
Yeah.
that we got the job done.
Right. Vimo, As you can see, it seems no one is in. Not. I'm not. No one is exactly
Everyone's depressed.
excited. I won't go that far. This is a new year. We won't be depressed. We are gonna have a great new year, 2022. 2021 is done. 2022.
Yeah.
Can someone kindly mute the phone? Who's on the line? Who's got a lot of noise?
I think
in the
it's
background?
Chris.
It might be me. Hold on. Let me.
Please.
Might be someone's
yeah,
TV.
just mute a bit. When I point you just right. So as it is now, it seems no one is impressed with the way we're playing, despite the result. Okay, 3-1, 1-1, 4.2 games, but it seems no one is excited. Like, yeah, I could see a vision. It seems, is it the players who don't know what to do, or is it these players? Like Adam's trying to say, I'm trying to be more biological. Are not are too thick to understand what the guy wants to do.
There's a number of factors. So first of all, you've had 3 years of shoddy football
Yeah.
with a coach who's too soft.
Right.
You know, you hear stories of people coming in late for training, putting in a couple of hours work and then going home and then busy, you know, getting on with their private lives. You know, to do the gegenpress all the time, you've got to have optimal fitness.
Right.
And, you know, because you're constantly running with intensity all the time.
Right.
These guys have not been training hard for 3 years. They've had it easy. It's like having a cushy job. Come to work, get paid, you know, silly money and just do 2 hours work a day. They've had it easy. They've had it easy. So they've got to get back into a strict regime of intense training,
Right.
get their fitness levels up.
Right.
You know, I think one season we had probably one of the lowest work rates. in the league.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. So I think Ralph knows this, that the team are not fit. They've been playing a certain way. They're playing very lazy football. I mean, you see the Chelsea-Liverpool game, see the intensity from both sides. These guys are constantly running, pressing together. There's a lot of energy in that game, but I don't see a lot of energy from a lot of our players. And you've got Maguire, who's very, very slow. You know, he needs to, I don't know, Ralph needs to give him a shot of some type of booster or something.
Legally,
on the bench,
though, a legal
Hey?
one, right?
A legal booster, yeah, with like tons of adrenaline or something. But yeah, I think it's just it's going to take time. You know, we have very lazy personnel, and I think Ralph knows that. You know, we've also got a lot of old players. Yeah, Matic played a brilliant the other day and is a good CDM, but he's also quite slow. So I think we've got to get younger, faster players, lots of energy, very fit. You know, can put in 15 miles per game, or whatever the requirement is. So it's going to take time, and it's not exciting football, but it will happen, I think.
Right, Bams. As we can see, everyone is saying, as you mentioned, and Adams agreed with you, saying it looks like the players are not adapting to what is being told them, and from what Vimol is saying, it might take longer. Is it that the players? Where do you stand on this?
I think it just I agree with Amal too. I think it might take longer than we expect.
Right.
Because I mean, I was reading there's an interview. Well, I was just reading some bits and pieces from the Lowe's interview that he did, and just recently. And what he said that that the manager wants them to be physical and intense. He said that's typical from Germany. He said it's going to take some time, but that's what the manager wants. And also he said that what the manager wants, that physicality and intensity, fits the players that we have, and it's the mentality that we have. It's so that's interesting to hear from Delo's mouth saying, okay, basically the way we're playing right now is not what the manager wants. That's what he's saying. The manager wants us to be physical and more intense. So, and then he says that fits the squad. Basically, I think what I get from that is just going to take some time. Hopefully that's the case. But I also think that in order for us to actually play that type of way, I think that midfield needs to be improved upon. That midfield will not work. It is in as far as us continue the rest of the season trying to get top four. That midfield will not work. We need a CDM that's got legs, a true CDM that's got legs that's going to help that intensity and that press. So I mean, let's see how it goes. But it's but it's quite worrying. I know we had COVID, and I know COVID can affect players like intensity and physicality. Probably maybe that might be the reason. But again, you should still see better performances than the way we've been playing lately. So I mean, I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. Let's hope. Let's give it. I'm willing to give it some more time just to see. At least by February, I should see an improvement. I
Okay.
should see difference. So
All right.
So-
Chris, are you with the guys that the players at the moment are not good enough to implement this system that Rangnick is trying to implement? Do you think are we lacking so much in terms of players?
Let me say this. Ralph has never coached in Premier League. Coaching Premier League is different from the other leagues. Only a few coaches have come from other leagues and come and dominated in England. And the few of them, like Pep and the club, they have come in and got their own team and they play the style they want. Ralph won a pressing game. The players you have, they cannot press. For him to play the game he wants, he's going to have to buy players. Which is going to take about 3, 4, 5 years for him to get the players he needs to press. It's not going to happen February or March. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. With the players you have, you ain't going to see no pressing. Nothing. He's going to have to play just a game to win, get 3 points and move on. The players you have and the players you're going to have, you're going to see McFred every single game. You're going to see Bruno, Cristiano. You're going to see Cavani on the bench. You're going to see McFred. You're going to see Maguire every game. You're going to see no pressing game. Straight out, facts.
Wow. That's
And before he came in, y'all might call me Ole Disciple and everything. But
Ole Disciple.
But I'm gonna tell you.
He is Ole Disciple.
I'm gonna tell you the fact though. And I tell you this before. Firing Ole was like pissing on yourself, expecting. You know how you piss yourself. You feel on for a minute, which you're gonna regret later. Be like, hey, why did I piss on myself? Because now I smell like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we Ole was fired. It's okay. Ole is gone. But I mean, with Ralph, he came. Ralph was like, hey, the game is good. The first game, they pressed and everybody was like, yeah, I haven't seen United play this type of game. Now it's been about 5 games since then. We haven't seen anything like that, close to that. But remember, I played against a small team. Crystal Palace, and see Newcastle, Norwich. Burnley, which you only scored 3 goals at half. Before second half, we didn't do nothing.
How can you say that we can't press the team, but we were able to do it against
with
Crystal
the
Palace?
players that?
Mate, I was a
how
fan
can
of
you
Ole,
say-
but it was still the right decision to
Yeah.
get rid of him.
With the players that can press, they don't even. See
How
the
can
field.
you
Our
tell
best
me?
player who can, our best
can
player
you-
who can
One at a
press.
time. Let Chris
Oh,
finish.
okay.
Our best player who I think is the best presser who should be playing with this draft system is a player called Jesse Lingard, and I don't think we'll see no minutes. He ain't gonna see no minutes, and that's our best player. I think, who's supposed to be starting every game to come and press.
But who's Jesse Lingard going to come in for? That's the thing, mate.
There you have, just
You
like
can't say Jesse should be playing if you
No,
can't
you
say
know-
who he should be coming in for. Should he coming in for Bruno? Should he?
you ain't gonna bench Bruno. The other thing, like you say,
But you're just saying Lingard should be in there, so he needs to come in for someone.
and then he ain't gonna press by himself. You need extra people to press with him. He ain't gonna change the whole team up by himself.
Isn't Ralph playing with 2 number 10s now? I
Yeah,
heard
that's
something
right,
about that.
correct.
He played with 2 10s, yeah.
Who
But
are
the
they?
10
So it's Bruno and who else? Who's
So
the
it's,
other number 10?
it's
Bruno and
only
Sancho.
Bruno and Sancho
Sancho.
that he plays. It's either Bruno,
Sancho plays as a 10. Wow.
Yeah, he plays Bruno and Sancho as 10s.
They
Or
play wide. Like
or-
the second half of that game wasn't 4-2-2-2-2. It wasn't.
yeah,
The 2 10s were playing way. Sancho Greenwood were way wide, so it was
Yeah.
more 4-4-2. You know.
yeah.
I thought the second half was more 4-4-2 actually.
It was actually, in my opinion, that game was a 4-2-4 game.
Yeah,
It wasn't even
that's correct,
4-4.
yeah.
Yeah. He played
Yeah.
2 midfielders and he played 2 wingers and two
Yeah.
strikers.
Yeah, with
Yeah, it
Mason
was a
and
4-2-4.
Mason and Sancho.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it seems this is not happy days just yet for United fans and United Football Club. Yes, we're getting the results. I mean, not all the results, but we got Wolves tomorrow. What does he do tomorrow, Adam? What are you expecting tomorrow?
tomorrow I'm really worried about Wolves' midfield, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Neves carves us up every time. So their midfield has always dominated our midfield over the last few games. And, they always come at us. And I'm worried about Tiore running at Maguire. So that fears me the most.
Right, yeah, Trevor. He always
That-
runs.
that-
He
yeah.
always runs. We have a late comer coming to the show.
You have to count how many times Maguire's going to fall over tomorrow.
That's right. It's going to be a shit show. I think United can win it, no doubt about it. But to say there's not going to be any goals in the game is, it just worries me. I just think we'll get over the line again. But I agree with Chris as well. I just don't think we've got the side to not even close to match Chelsea and Liverpool. You watch that game today, it's next level by a mile. It's not just by a little bit, it's by a mile. They are just class teams, man. The runs they make in behind the defence and stuff like that, we're not even close, man.
Right.
And I want to stay positive. I'm the positive one with United.
Yeah.
So
Even Brems is positive this year.
but as far as the Wolves game, their midfield and Tiore running at Maguire. Well, they've all got Maguire in the team. It's I think Marcus Byers going back to the African Cup, so you'll see Lindelof come in. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's the Lindelof-Varane partnership, but it won't happen.
No. Maguire's not going to be dropped. He's going to be dropped if he's injured or suspended. He's number one on the starting sheet, which is so sad. That's
fucking
where we are.
ridiculous.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
Welcome, Joe. Happy New Year, Joe. Representing Houston Red Army, the soul man, the peacemaker. How are you, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Sorry I'm a little late. I totally forgot I went on a run.
Bro, I was late. Vimon woke me up. I was 12 past 10. I was asleep. Yeah. But, So where we are today, we're talking about, did you see an improvement? Because me and you did the last podcast, and we talked about it, the difference between the game between Man United and Newcastle, the Man United and Burnley. We both agreed there was not much improvement. Yes, there was a better result. And we did agree this pressing system, we haven't seen it since Crystal Palace. Now we're at the point now are the players not good enough at this point to implement? Are they too thick to take that situation in because of they've come from a very lackadaisical training method, come in when you want, chill out, we just sit back and counter, even at home. Is that where we are?
I think it's a couple of things. For one, yes, definitely. There is a culture that needs to be scrubbed out of the team. Complacency, you see that all the time. You can clearly tell in the second half of that last game, whenever we get a chance, we'll just fall back. And I think, of course, it's also going to take some time for the team to adapt with Wagner's system because it is very physical, right? And, these guys are professional footballers, but, that style of play, it's like it's on a different level. So, but physically, they're going to have to get used to it. And I think as time progresses, Wagner, as you can see what he did with Rashford, it depends on how he decides to manage a team. The reason why we've been having these one-off games and
sorry, Joe. There's some weird background noise. I don't know where it's coming from. Can you guys hear it?
Yes, someone's got a background because I'm mute.
Is it me? Wait, I'm going to mute and let me know if it stops.
Sounds like someone's eating crisps and playing music.
Oh, no, that's not me.
Wait, hold on. Let me see if it's me.
Are you eating crisps and playing background music?
Walker's crisp.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm just here.
So the noise has stopped.
Not eating.
I just stopped. I can hear it. I can still hear a little bit muffles.
You still hear it? Hold on a second. See if you can hear it now.
No, we were hearing it before you came on, actually, I think.
Oh, okay, so it's not me.
Right, we'll investigate.
It's all the Chinese.
We'll investigate.
I can hear it somehow, but I don't know.
Bems, you need to return. Bems, you have to return the headset, man. It's terrible.
It might be the headsets though. Yeah, actually, Lamar, you might be right though. It might be my headsets.
Oh, snap.
It might be my headsets.
Oh, okay.
No,
let's
it's
just
an
show
old
over
one.
here.
It's a old. It's my.
Okay.
It's an old one. It's from what I use with my PS4. But for some reason, it
Can
might
I
be.
get
It
to
might
your
just be it.
phone or laptop?
Not my laptop. So it might. Hold on. Let me take the headset off, and maybe that
Okay.
might. Good.
Right. As you were saying, Joe, it looks like it looks like the players are not able to implement this style, right?
Well, it's just going to take some time. And there's got to be a mentality that needs to be implemented into the team. And certain players need to be taken off the starting lineup. And that hunger needs to come back. Because I feel like there's certain players, Maguire especially, number one, feel like, he's undroppable. And I don't he's just not in the right headspace. Some players on this team that we depend on, key players, are not on the same page. And then on top of that, we have some players that are just not good enough to be on the team. So that hunger, I think the hunger is working well on the back line as far as our fullbacks are concerned. But with Maguire, he seems to be he's like the weakest link now in our back line.
Wow.
And
Now-
he's undroppable because of that captain's badge.
Wow. Well,
So-
Can't even do the
Yeah.
basics. He can't even do the
You guys
basics
hear me?
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Yeah, we can. I can hear you.
Is that
So-
noise gone?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it's probably my headset then.
Right.
Finish your
So-
Oh,
crisps.
snap.
So obviously now we're getting to the point whereby we now know the players just cannot implement the system. There's certain players like Maguire who's always playing. He's never dropped. He's only going to be dropped if he's injured or he's suspended. But he seems to be the weakest link, even with a defense with Delo and Telles. He's still the weakest link. He's still the
Yeah,
weakest
that's
link
crazy.
with Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. So I used to think it was Lindelof. Yes, Lindelof used to get bullied, but when you look
Yeah.
at it tactically, who made the most mistake? It was Maguire marking the wrong person. And this has not changed. It's still going on. And no one is saying, bro, you need to take a bench, sit down. But he's going to play every game because he is the captain.
Yeah.
That's where-
Now team exactly what I told you last season. Every blame was coming on my boy
Lindelof.
Lindelof. But the blame, actually, the one who was making more mistake was Maguire. But the blame was coming to Lindelof all the time. But
Very
nobody
true.
could see that.
No
Until
one's-
now,
I agree.
now
I
you're
agree.
Whoa, whoa,
I-
whoa,
I
whoa,
know
whoa,
it's
whoa,
now
very
you're
let's-
finally seeing it.
Let's not go ahead and absolve Lindelof for all his fuck ups. He's doing a lot better, but it seems like they swapped brains. Maguire is looking a lot like Lindelof back in the day. Very skittish on 1v1, very apprehensive to receive the ball, and he just goes into the blank mode whenever he gets the ball. Lindelof it seems like it's a confidence thing or whatever. Lindelof, seems a lot more confident on the ball, confident in what he does, confident in his passes. So I mean, Lindelof did have. Come on, bro. Remember there was like. Remember when teams all they did as soon as the midfield got the ball, they just hoofed it towards whoever was marking Lindelof, and it was just a matter of who was gonna boss Lindelof off the ball, and that was like a legit strategy that he seems to be using against us. So, but he's done a lot. He's gotten a lot better. But let's not absolve Lindelof like he's been balling this whole time.
Okay.
Man,
Right.
he been our best player this season.
Right.
At the
Nah,
back.
he's not.
At the back, at the back, at
De
the
Gea
back.
has been the
at
best.
the back.
Come on,
De
Chris.
De Gea,
Gea, De Gea,
was
mate.
at
De
the
Gea,
back.
I
De
want
Gea has
to
been the best player at the back,
Okay.
though.
Let's
Come on,
move
man.
on. We have Wolves tomorrow. Vimor, what can you expect tomorrow? Can we beat Wolves?
Can we beat them? Yeah, we definitely can beat them. Depends on the squad that he deploys. Wolves historically play with a low block, so they'll sit back, they'll defend deep. They're quite a tough team to break down. So I think we've got to, well, I guess we have to resort to that counter-attacking football, bring them into our half perhaps. But mind you, Ragnick doesn't like that, does he? He wants us to have the ball in their half.
Right.
I think it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be difficult to break him down. I mean, you've got two very good midfielders there, as Adam says. I'm not sure how they're doing defensively though this season.
They are seventh, I think. They're not too far behind us.
We're seventh.
We're seventh.
Oh, what's that? We
Yeah.
dropped again? I thought we were
Yeah.
sixth after being Burnley.
No,
Yeah,
no.
so-
Wait,
Well,
wait,
definitely
Tim, are you
seventh.
talking about us or are you talking about Wolves? Because Vermont asked where are they
No,
defending?
after the Burnley guy, I thought we moved up to sixth position.
Oh, I thought
No.
Vermont was asking
We're in
about Wolves,
seventh.
how Wolves isn't where Wolves are, not us.
No, we're in seventh. I just saw it.
We're in seventh.
Yeah.
Yeah, seventh.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wolves are ninth.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what.
Yeah,
All right, thanks, bro. So Vimal, finish off.
yeah. They're very beatable. But they are a tough team to beat. So I think we're going to have quite a tough challenge. I think we need to start perhaps getting our players around the side. So Sancho and his counterpart on the other side need to get behind that defense, and we need
Get balls in
to.
that.
I would probably want to start with Ronaldo and Cavani as well because they
I was
they
about
can
to say, would you
they
start
can
Ronaldo
rattle.
Cavani?
they can rattle
Yeah.
the defenders. So I think
Right.
we've got to be more, got to penetrate a lot more, and a lot faster. We've got to speed up that
Do you
play.
think Cavani will play 2 games in a row though?
I don't know. That's the thing. I hope he does. I hope he does. And I really don't want Fred to start. It has to be one or the other.
If,
let's see.
if Cavani is unable to play both games in a row, then that's bad man management from Ragnick, because we could have relieved them, right, when we had the game in the bag and just hold on, because we weren't doing shit in the second half anyway, you know. So both Ronaldo and Cavani played the entire half. I mean, the entire game. If their fitness was a problem, was an issue, he should have taken them off. So I'm assuming they're okay. You know, if they were okay to play those 90 minutes, it should be okay to play. Because I mean, what else is the alternative? Bring Rashford in this game? No, we need these 3 points, man. You know, so
Right. Chris,
I got a feeling he won't be playing. Just
Chris.
because the
Mm.
way he went to the crowd
right?
afterwards.
Yeah, he was applauding the fans like farewell, goodbye, good night. What did you guys take out of that?
He's not going anywhere, man. He's not going.
Yeah,
As Ralph has already said, he's not going to allow Cavani leave till the summer.
It's-
So
and
Ralph
plus,
said in his
like,
press conference. So,
yeah, they're already making inquiries for Morata anyway. So I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, it could be possible that Cavani is just a class act, you know. I mean, he's like, he's just got that energy, man. I mean, if you need to just have him in the locker room, I mean, he exemplifies what it is to be a United player, and he's playing that role like to the T, both on the pitch and off. So hey, I love it, man. I hope they do whatever they can to keep him, because he definitely needs to be starting as many games as possible.
That's possible.
He should have no reason to think that he's not going to get any minutes this season, because there's nobody other than Ronaldo, of course, that should be taking his place.
Right. All right, Chris. Wolves tomorrow. What do you expect tomorrow against Wolves?
Tomorrow we can win that game easily. Don't expect. I mean, I'm not hating on this, but just play like we played against Burnley. Go there, just get 3 points. Don't try to whatever. Just, I mean, Burnley. I think today was the last day. The players are going to Africa. I think after today, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Today was the last day.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
Burnley should lose about 3 players, their best players.
Burnley
Saiz,
or
yeah,
Wolves?
Saiz,
Wolves.
Wolves. Saiz, Boli, and someone else. And those are the players. They are one of their best players. Like Saiz is a big defender back there. Boli is I think he's their CDM. So I mean, it's an advantage to us. They're gonna be losing their best players going to Africa. They have someone else. I just know 2 of them for sure. They have about 3, but I know 2 of them for sure. It should be. I mean, I know they're gonna score. Jimenez or the other dude, the strong dude. I mean, they might strike a goal, 1 or 2, but it should be a high scoring game. I think like a 4-2 game should be tomorrow.
Really? I'd be
Mhm.
devastated if it was that. I'll tell you, I'll be pissed. If we caught
think
more than 2 goals, I'll be pissed.
I think like Jimenez gonna score, or that dude is gonna score.
Okay. Bams. Tomorrow, what do you expect against Wolves, mate?
Okay. I'm gonna. I don't. It's not. We can't play the same game we played against Burnley. We can't do that. It's in Wolves is a different team. You can't do that. You won't win with that. With that type of mentality. I think tomorrow's game is going to be tight. I don't think it's going to be an easy win. I don't think so at all. Wolves are defensively very good. They don't concede that many goals. So if we concede against Wolves, it's going to be hard for us to win that game. I'm just going to be clean and clear. I see. I mean, Cavani has to play. Cavani Ronaldo has to play. I think. I mean, Bruno definitely has to play that game tomorrow. Sancho has to play. Obviously, he's going to play McTominay. And then I don't know. It depends who's going to play in the middle there with McTominay. But
Yeah.
it's going to be, this game is definitely going to be tight. Don't expect a lot of goals in this game. I think it's going to be a 1-0 win. Or it's
Wow.
going to be 1-1. A 1-0 win, or it's going to be a 1-1. I'm moving towards like a draw. I don't think
Ooh-wee.
it's going to be really tight. It's going to be really tight. Just because the way Wolves play, they sit back, and the way we've been playing lately, we've not been playing like we've been playing, as in obviously we've not been playing well. We've been sitting back and not really pressing. So I don't see how that game comes out as a high scoring game. I see a draw written all over it. Might be wrong, but let's see.
All right, fine, man. Chris, Joe, what's your expectation of this game tomorrow?
Yeah, same exact thing. It's gonna be a tight one. I would say, if I was to guess, I'm always gonna do 2-1 until I see a consistent style of play from the squad. It's always gonna be a 2-1 until I see a consistent press. Yeah, it's just gonna be 2 because I don't see we're just too unpredictable depending on who's playing. It depends on the midfield, depends on our center back partnership. It's just, and every time you switch things up like that, it's always up in the air. If Cavani and Ronaldo is starting tomorrow up top, definitely I would like to see Bruno, or maybe even Bruno and Sancho playing that game. These guys to be able to facilitate both Ronaldo and Cavani. So it depends. It definitely depends on the lineup. I can't just say it's going to be a high scoring. If it's a high scoring game, we got problems defensively because it should not be, unless it's just a one-sided thrashing. We catch them. And Traore, for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on with the manager. He hasn't started the last 2 or 3 games. He's been coming in late in the second half.
Right.
I don't know if that's strategic, so that he can just come in and just take advantage of a lot of tired legs on the pitch. But he hasn't been getting starting positions, so I guess that should help us a little bit. And Jimenez, I don't think Jimenez has been
Right.
lightning since he came back. Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I need everyone to give me 2 players starting from behind. Adam, 2 players starting from the back line. Our lineup.
You couldn't drop Shaw on the last game that he played, so I'm going to go with Shaw, and I think he'll start with Shaw and Wan-Bissaka again.
Sure. So you've done the 2 fullbacks. So going with Shaw and Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
Vimor and Sienna. Happy New Year, Sienna.
Yes. Happy New Year. She's just woken up. So it's a bit.
Nice.
Hello.
Hey, Sienna. So
Hey.
Adam has picked Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. I need you to pick 2 central defenders that will start, that you think should start.
Oh gosh.
tomorrow.
Should start. Well, Varane should start. I don't know if he's got the fitness. Bailey's gone, right? African Cup of Nations, has he gone?
He's going to be gone.
Yeah. So Varane, and unfortunately, who?
He put out a post downplaying his injury, so it looks like he's.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, Maguire will start, although I don't want him to start. But we don't have much choice in the matter.
So we have Maguire and who in the central pairing?
Varane.
Varane
is a must. He covers for Maguire's errors and slowness.
But the part that I didn't get in the last game is Varane's error.
I didn't want no. I wondered
just-
why Varane did not start the last game. Was he? I mean, I don't know.
Not Varane, the Bailey. Bailey was it? No, who cost us the goal last game?
It was
Just
Varane.
poor.
It was Varane. It was Varane.
No, Varane never played.
Sorry,
He came off
sorry,
the bench.
the game against Newcastle was the game against the goal against Newcastle. It was
Varane played Newcastle. He didn't
Yeah,
play Burnley.
yeah.
Against Burnley.
but against Burnley, the mistake came from Bailly, but
Yeah.
Maguire didn't cover up well enough. Maguire didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
actually
That's
read
right.
Varane and cover
Okay.
up.
So we have 4 players now. We have Adam has picked Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. Vimo, Maguire, and Varane. Chris, is Chris there? Is Chris not there? All right. Let's go to the midfield. Bems, give me two in the starting the midfield.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's the burger, isn't it? Fred.
It's really tough. This the midfield is the reason why the midfield is really tough. Is because we play that on Thursday, right?
That's crazy, Vimo.
We play that on Thursday. I expect to see McTominay play. I expect to see McTominay and probably Fred.
So you're picking
Fred. I won't be surprised to see Donny play alongside McTominay.
So the two you are going with are
McTominay and Fred. That's what I think.
McTominay. So going with McFred. So Adam, Luke Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka. Vimo, Maguire, and Varane. You, McFred. Now, Joe, can you add in two more players into that? Chris, welcome back.
As far as the midfield,
Yeah, because Bems is already putting McFred. Fimola's putting two central midfielders. Adam's putting two fullbacks. I need Joe to complete the midfield and a striker. So Chris could finish off the lineup.
oh, Bruno and Sancho.
Bruno and Sancho. So, Chris, the lineup so far, everyone has said. Adam has gone with Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. Vimola has gone with Varane and Maguire. Bems has gone with McFred. And Joe has gone with Bruno and Sancho. Who filling the last two spots?
Of course, Cristiano. I think you're not gonna like it, but you're gonna see Rashford there tomorrow.
Rashford.
I agree with Chris on that one.
You know, like it is what it is. I mean, I've accepted. I mean, it is what it is, but you're gonna see Rashford there tomorrow.
Oh God. So
Like,
that's
I mean,
the
it is what it is. I mean, you just have to see it. I know Rashford has to be there tomorrow. Just like say you're gonna see VDB playing tomorrow. Nah, you're not gonna see him playing tomorrow. Accept it.
Wow. You see what I like about Chris is going to tell you as it is. Chris is going to tell you whether you like it or not, this is what is going to happen. You will see Rashford tomorrow and you will not see Van der Beek. You will see.
No matter how wrong he is.
I think the reason why you're going to see Rashford is because Cavani won't be able to play that many games back to back. That's the only reason, I think. But if Cavani could play, he's going to play Cavani over Rashford. He said in his press conference, if you listen to he said in his press conference, he wants Cavani to stay. He wishes he has two Cavanis. So that tells you how much he wants Cavani to play that many games. He says he's going to try and give Cavani as much games as possible. So if it's not for the fact that Cavani normally can't play that many games back to back, I think Cavani will play. But if it's to do with fitness and playing so many games, he probably will play Rashford in that case.
His movement and intelligence. Yeah, his movement and intelligence is exactly what Ragnick wants from forward.
Okay. All right. At least he brought some vibes.
DJ Walker's gone. Right, he'll be back. Now he's that Delvin from Miami. Right. Okay. We've all got the lineup. This is the lineup you guys put together. Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Varane, McFred, Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, and Ronaldo. That's the lineup for tomorrow. The bits I see are not really cool. Bruno and Rashford. I just don't. And the Fred part. I don't like the Fred and the Bruno and the Rashford part. That part I find very worrying.
Oh yeah, I agree. I do find the McFred thing isn't worrying. I totally agree with you. I have a funny feeling it might is in when it comes to fullbacks. I think Delors will play instead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think, but I might be wrong though. But let's see.
Right.
I think
Delors versus Traore would give me nightmares.
Traore will play.
You smart.
Depends on what side Traore plays. I think Traore plays.
Delvin, welcome to the show. Happy New Year.
Traore will pick whichever side Delors is on. It doesn't matter. He'll just pick that side.
You need some body back there. You need somebody stronger.
Yeah,
Wan-Bissaka plays
is
good.
the low stronger? Is the low stronger than Wan-Bissaka?
Hell no.
Okay, all right, I get that. Right, Delvin, welcome to the show. Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year. Thank you for having me on. Sorry about the little difficulties there just now.
That's all right. We were just jamming to your ABC.
Tim, we're getting a lot of
that's right.
feedback.
We're getting a lot of echo.
Who's put on the sound machine?
That was my mistake. I was trying to connect my car back to my Bluetooth. Yeah, I just got back to Tampa. I drove
It's
from
been one of
Miami.
those shows.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right, right. Now, Adam, predicted score.
I'm still getting that feedback.
The echo.
Echo.
Team, you have an echo.
Hello.
No, okay, so what's happening is during the replay.
Oh, what a nightmare.
We got a feedback loop. Loop.
Because
You might have to edit this show, Tim.
going back into the speaker.
What do you say, Joe?
You might have to disconnect from your Bluetooth, your car, because what you're doing sound from your speaker, and the speaker back to the mic. That's why we get. You have to disconnect from your speaker.
Yeah. It's got a feedback loop there.
Let
The
me see
sound's
something.
feeding itself back in.
This is Zoom 101.
Is that better? Yeah, I think that's better. Can you guys hear me?
That tastes better. Yeah,
Right. You see, once we have Joe, the IT help desk guy, there's no need to put in an IT ticket in. You just tell him to get the job done.
We just went through a whole year of Zoom calls.
Right. Yeah, he's a Zoom specialist, that one. Right. So, Adam, predicted score now.
Yeah, look, I think we'll get the job done. We definitely will cop a goal. I hope I'm wrong because I'd love a clean sheet. I think we'll win 2-1.
2-1.
I'm big on the 3-1, but I really believe
I
it'll be
noticed you're always
3-1.
big on the 3-1s
Yeah,
because you want 3 goals.
the midfield what worries me for Wolves, and we haven't played well with it against them for a while. So
All right.
2-1.
Chris,
I predicted earlier gonna be high scoring game. I'm going the 4-2. And Bruno is a rested man. I think he's gonna come back to the score sheet tomorrow.
okay. Bams, predicted score.
I think my predicted score. I will not. My
Hey, don't get it.
hard 1-1 or 1-0. 1-1 or 1-0. It's not going to be a high scoring game at all.
You and Chris will debate that one offline and decide how that's gonna go. Joe,
It's gonna be a low scoring game. Yeah, we'll require him. I'm still not too sure about him, so we're gonna leave one because of him. And I'm specifically saying it's gonna be because of him. 2-1 United.
2-1 United. Delvin, how are you, brother? Happy New Year.
Same to you.
What's your predicted score against Wolves tomorrow?
I think we're gonna win 3-1.
3-1. So you and Adam are 3-1, 2-1-ish. Chris is going 4-2. Brems is going 1-1. Tight game. Joe is going tight game. Vimo,
I think it's going to be a cagey game. Lots of defensive work going on. So I think low scoring match, 2-1, 3-1, with us winning.
everyone has said we're gonna win tomorrow. So it's obvious. Apart from Brems, who's like, you're not too sure if we're gonna get a win or a draw tomorrow. And I get it. Wolves play good football. They're not easy to break down. And United are not playing the expansive football we all anticipated at the moment. But we all still hope for 3-1. Now, as it stands, Adam, where does Van der Beek come into all this play?
He doesn't, mate. I'm afraid to say it, but he doesn't. I just don't know what the kid's done wrong. You know, because every manager, well, Ollie didn't like him. Now Rannick doesn't like him. So it's a hard one to explain. And, you know, you'd think he'd be moving on in January. whether they say they want to keep him or not. If you want to keep him, you should
Play
be
him.
playing him. So you think in this 2-2-2 system, you know, well, Sancho in this system hasn't really been starting. It's only that Bruno's been out, and he came in and started. So, you know, the ideal thing you would think in this 2-2-2 system, it would be Bruno and Donny starting together. But Pogba should be due back now, shouldn't he?
Does anyone know when Pogba's coming back?
I haven't heard anything, but he must be close. But anyway, I just don't think. I
Saying
just
late,
don't think that.
late
I think
January.
he's a cup player, and that's it. So
Wow.
I bet you he's looking forward to the FA Cup. So
Wow. That's against Aston Villa in the next weekend. I think that is.
yeah.
I mean,
so
we can't
think
just
it-
all that talent just keep it for cup games. It's really sad though. Okay.
well, it's been
um,
done before, so it's not like it's something out of the ordinary.
True. Delvin, how are you, brother? Where does Van der Beek fit in all of this? What's going on with him? Is he all over?
Good question, actually, trying to figure that one out. I'm just trying to figure out if, yes, he's good, but does he have the fitness levels to last the full 90 minutes? And that is the only thing that makes sense in my head as to why he's been not playing in all these Premier League matches. So I've been calling for him to get a run out in the Premier League for God knows how long now. And especially with this last match with Real, and he didn't even get a look at all. It's if he wants to leave and he forces a move, nobody can blame him. Because I mean, you're hearing reports right now like saying Ralph likes him, wants him to compete, but then he's also not getting his opportunities. And with the World Cup coming next year, of course he's going to want to be playing as much as he can to get in that Dutch side. I don't think he's been treated fairly at all. And it's just the only, like I said, the only thing that makes sense to me is just that they don't think that he can last the full 90 minutes. And then that means that's already a sub you have to plan for it. And maybe Ralph just wants players who can commit that will be able to last the full 90.
Wow. Chris, Van der Beek, what's going on now? Even with Rangnick new coming in and still Van der Beek is not getting into the side.
A lot of questions come to my mind, all about him, right? And then Ole comes in and don't play him a whole season, 1.5 season. Ole didn't play him.
Wow.
There's something Ole saw in him once he arrived in Manchester, something you don't know. As fans, he's just gonna be play with the B, play with B. We're gonna talk about that every day. But as a coach, you know what you see in a player, and you know what you want in a player. There's something as fans you don't see. Maybe VDB at the training, you don't do enough to impress the coach.
For
Probably.
2 years? 2 seasons?
Probably. Okay. He didn't impress Ole. He hasn't impressed Ralph. So why you could be doing wrong? Nobody knows. We don't know. The coaches know. The coaches know. We're not part of it. Even Carrick was there for 2 days or whatever, didn't play him. So there's something that goes on that we don't know. So just gonna play for the B. He's good. I know on the videos on the YouTube from Ajax, he's good, whatever. But in Manchester, at least Ole used to play him for 10 minutes. Under the new coach, he hasn't even played nothing.
Wow.
He only played in the FA Cup and I guess that Champions League. When we play the kids, the youngsters. So there's something he does wrong. It's, of course, not right. There's something he does wrong.
Wow.
For a fact.
Bems, Van der Beek, where are we now? Is it over now? Is it done? Time to leave?
I think
We can't hear you.
it really baffles me. In my honest opinion, I think probably they just don't rate him that much at the club. That's possible. But I think, I know that Donny van de Beek does train well. The players have said it. The manager, Ralph, did say it in his press conference. Luke Shaw made a comment saying he doesn't know why Van de Beek doesn't get game time because Donny van de Beek.
He said that under Ole, right? Didn't he say that under Ole?
He said it on Ole, exactly. Still on Ole. So it wasn't that far long. Van de Beek is a quality player. I just think I think the reason why he doesn't get enough, he's not being played is because of that first season where Ole just didn't play him at all. So they just got used to the fact that he doesn't play, and so they're just going to continue on that as in path. And probably, and when Ralph came in, obviously Ralph is going to get input from the previous coaches, and they're probably going to keep saying the same thing or keep donning the same plays that he was before Ralph came in. But there is some also is in, I mean, there's possibility that he's just, it's very hard because Donny's a player that was up for, he was nominated for Ballon d'Or a few years ago. He was
semi-final against Spurs, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he was very instrumental in taking Ajax to semifinals. The guy's a quality player. He's of quality. He's better than Fred. He's better than McTominay quality-wise. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no argument about that. So I guess just probably the way he plays just doesn't. I think it all boils down to the way we've been playing football, and the way he plays just doesn't fit this slow pace, pragmatic in the type of football that United play. Wow. I think if Ralph was to start from beginning, right, and Ralph was to do a complete reshuffle of this whole team, right, and it really implement the way he wants to play, I think Donny plays in that team. I just think the way Ralph is forced to play the way that Ole was playing, just because these players are just not up to the par to do that yet.
Wow.
And when when you do that, Donny just doesn't get enough game time. That's just what I feel.
All right,
So.
thanks, Ben. Joe, well, with Van der Beek, is he done?
It's like Ben said, yeah, he is definitely better than both Fred and McTominay, right? And if we're going to be consistent about players like Dalot, if we're going to keep someone like Dalot on the pitch because of what he brings offensively, even though he has defensive deficiencies, right? We can also do the same thing with Donny van der Beek. I feel like we can't just have Bruno being the only creative midfielder in there.
I agree.
If Sancho is not playing alongside Bruno, then somebody like Donny van der Beek, I'll even take Mata at this point, man. Somebody's got to be able to put in a pass. I mean, the passion shit can only take us so far, you know? And we've seen what Wolves can do with both Fred and McTominay. He's just rubbing his hands right now. He's already oiling up right now, you know, he's ready for that combo, you know? So yeah, I don't see why we haven't been able to implement him into our squad. It's sad. I wouldn't fault him if he decides to leave, but it would be a huge failure on our part as a club to not try to get him into into our style of play in some way, shape, or form.
Wow. Vimo, Van der Beek, is he done now? Is it over?
I know there's a lot of theories about this. It does look like it's over, but I don't think it is. He's 24 years old. He's a central midfielder, and unfortunately, he's competing with Pogba and Bruno for that same spot. And if you've got Pogba and Bruno in the team, you're going to quite clearly go to them because they produce a lot more output. Bruno, you know, generally has got a good passing range. He can get that ball up and down the field, and he's always trying.
Form, though, even Bruno being off form still.
Yeah, because he still tries. I know he gives the ball away a lot, but he makes the passes that others don't. And what I've seen with Van der Beek is that he plays it. He's quite cautious. He'll travel around the team. He's very fluid as a player. He will move with the players, and he'll do lots of one-touch passing, tiki-taka style of football. But he doesn't produce enough output at the end. You know, in terms of that attacking play. Yes, he'll go in the box and he'll pick up a goal, but he doesn't create as much as what Pogba and Bruno does. And I think that's why he's being sidelined, because he's competing with those two guys.
That kind of makes a bit of sense. Kind of.
What has McFred produced over the last 10, 15 games that they've played together that would say that it's enough to not give Donny a chance? Donny hasn't had a slot of games for us to truly make that determination. He really hasn't. He hasn't gotten a string of games where we can actually make the determination of whether he's even good enough for the team. We know Fred and McTominay are not good enough for the squad.
We know
We
that. The
about Donnie.
alternatives are not good enough
We don't
either.
know that
But
about- Yeah, but we don't know that about Donnie. You can't make that decision right now about Donnie Van de Beek.
And
The other thing
bad
is-
thing is Pogba is
hold on,
coming back
hold on,
from injury.
Chris, let Vimal and Chris finish
But-
that part. Vimal,
The other
finish
thing
up.
is, I was wondering if, because Donny is quite crowded out in that midfield, whether he can play in a different position and add some value somewhere else. Because, I don't know what Ralph's vision is about, changing players around different formation, different areas. I mean, he could fit somewhere else into that team
That's what
I
I
don't-
would have thought all this time.
because he's not a defensive, he's not a CDM. He doesn't do that role. He's very
Right.
attack minded,
Right.
but he doesn't produce enough output as Bruno and Pogba does. So maybe he needs to, I don't know, do something else. I don't know where else he could fit into that team. At the
Joe,
moment.
finish what you were gonna say with in reference to Vimal's.
Well, I see what you're saying defensively, but what's the point? What is the actual point of being this great defensive team when we're still leaking goals like this? Like McTominay on the pitch because of their defensive attributes. Why do we keep leaking goals? Okay, so that's not working. So let's try just scoring more goals than the other team. How about that? And we can only do that if we have enough creative players to facilitate both our forwards.
Very correct, bro.
Fed, and it's hurting us. It's making our forwards look weak and out of form. And some people are not getting game time because they look weak and because they're not getting fed. Martial being one of them. So let's look at this for what it is. If the excuse is the reason why we're keeping Fred McTominay is because of defensively, then we shouldn't be leaking goals like
As
they
we
do.
do. That's true. Very good point, Joe. Chris,
That is completely scrapped, and let's bring it down.
Chris, you wanted to say something.
I'm saying, because you are still on a Van der Beek issue. I mean, Pogba gonna come back in from injury maybe in a month. I think Pogba he's back in Manchester, he ain't in Dubai anymore. So I think you should expect to see him maybe in January or February. And the bad thing is you're gonna see Pogba straight back to the team, and you're not gonna see Van der Beek in there before then.
Wow.
And I mean, like Bam said, I mean, I saw the guy. I've never seen the better part of VDB in Manchester. I mean, he has only played like five games, and those games, most of them were League Cup where he played good. In the Premier League, he only played one game.
Wow.
The first game ever against Crystal Palace.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
This is serious. Well, it
So his situation is difficult. If I was him, I'm asking for a trade in January, straight up. If you want to play, I'm just asking for a trade in January.
We all as fans really want to see him play. He's a very good player. It's not like he's a poor player, but he doesn't, like Joe and Vimal were saying, if you're playing in an attacking position, they will prefer Bruno and Pogba. But sometimes both of them two players are off form, but they still get picked. This is the same tradition United keep doing. Off form players still get picked regularly. That's a problem. Joe was saying, even McFred and McTominay, they're playing the role of 2-1 player, defensive. We still concede goals, yet they still play. So this is a problem here. It seems a tradition of constantly Maguire off form for the last 9 games still gets picked. When they're all, this is the problem. So this kind of tradition is an internal issue with United and the coaching staff. Constantly, I don't want to call it favoritism, but it seems there is favoritism in this team. Rashford off form still gets picked. Even when Sancho was on the bench, that when Sancho shouldn't play, they still preferred Rashford there. When Rashford was completely off form, but they still play them. Maybe they're trying to play them to form, but sometimes you need to take a player out completely, reset, then put him back as a sub, not still start them. And that's where we are in this country with this club. We keep playing the same method of off-form players, want to form them back. And Ole did that for so long that the off-form players were so burnt out, we're literally running on fumes and we couldn't perform in the end of season.
I also think those who are getting picked, it also starts getting breeding complacency, where it's like I could have an off game or something like that, and you know what, I'm still going to be in the lineup. So okay, start from here little by little. You know what, maybe I won't trade as hard today, not feeling as well. I'm still going to play no matter what. Exactly. And then you have these players that were trying to get into the side who are giving it their absolute all in training and whatnot. And they know that they are training better than those players who were starting before. But then you see those same players starting over and over again. If you're one of those fringe players trying to come in and you keep on seeing this over and over again, eventually you're just going to say, no, I'm done. Because no matter what I do, I cannot get into the side. Or
100%, mate.
the only way they go into that side is if one of those favorite players somehow either is suspended or injured or something like that. And you could go out there and you could play incredible. But as soon as that player's fit or available for selection again, somehow you get dropped. And all that's going to do is decrease the morale of the club. And so if I were a fringe player and I was dealing with that, I hate to say it, I would be wanting to leave as well too. And I don't think any fan could blame them for that. And I also hate the fact that with these starting 11 players, it seems like they feel like they keep on picking these players, aka Harry Maguire, and you're off form. It's clear as day, it's obvious to see. And keep in mind, you are the captain. You're the one that's supposed to be setting the example, and you're having off performances like that. Don't even get it started, because that you lead by example. That's example that you're starting, especially when we have a side with a lot of youth players in it. If you are that bad, you need to be dropped and let somebody else come in, because it shows that you do not take your position for granted. Somebody's ready to take it on. And then if they win that position over you, they should have the right to play, not just pick the same players over and over again because you know how these players will play together. No, I have a big issue with that.
Thank you, Devin. I think Devin has nailed it on. And it's the same thing. It's the same constant picking off form players. Adam, we talked about this recently, whereby as the captain of the club, this guy can't even organize his own defense. Let imagine the whole team. Why is he still there every week?
Hold on, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, okay, hey, hey.
I can hear you now.
Adam.
Why Maguire is there every week? Well, he had one. Everyone forgets he did have a pretty good season last year. So, and he played well in the Euros as well. So, yeah, there's definitely something there. But you can't pick the guy on current form. His form is that poor, and even when you watch him, he just looks stressed all the time. As soon as he receives the ball, he looks stressed. His footwork is horrendous. Yeah, and I've said it before. I don't know how he's got this far in football. His decision making, like receives the ball on his wrong foot, he turns inside constantly. He's like that kid who fears the ball whenever he receives it, and you know. But the other thing we haven't spoken about here is a lot of our play comes through him. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I've noticed why the play goes through Maguire.
I don't get it. Like our midfield's the same. They don't want to receive the ball. When Matic comes on, he wants the ball to go. He wants to, as a six, he comes and receives the ball. He wants to play through it. But a lot of the time, if Matic isn't there, we're not playing through them. We're playing through Maguire. I watched Bruno 2 games ago, and I particularly watch him, mate. He's like a conductor. He just wants to go like this. He wants to go like that, but he doesn't want to come and receive the ball, regardless if he's a 10. He's playing in the midfield. If somebody's not looking for that ball and we're down losing, come and get the ball and create something. Yeah, Maguire's not even close to being our creative player, yet we're relying on him to create
Take
something.
the ball from the back. That I found
And generally it's Ronaldo. Everyone's got all this shit with Ronaldo. It's generally Ronaldo going, I'm here, I'll make a run for you. You know, so we'll play it over the top. So, mate, it's a combination of everything. You know, if Maguire's on the ball all the time and our midfield ain't willing to receive it, well, it's no different to when we signed Ronaldo. I said, unless our midfield's working, Ronaldo's going to be no good for us. So,
very true. Very true.
Yeah, the midfield's the heart of the team, and if the heart of the team's not working, then the team's not going to fire. So, as much as we can sit here and blame Maguire, and you know I'm not his biggest fan, unless our midfield's doing their job, our fullbacks are going to be constantly under the pump. So, and they can't defend for that long.
Wow. Whew, Adam, that was deep. Joe, you were about to say something about this whole Maguire, because if you watch the Newcastle game, Maguire was the one always bringing the ball through the back. And constantly, why is he the one moving the ball forward? Why is he? Where you have McTominay and Fred, who are, I mean, they don't create. This is the problem. We have so much problems all over, and certain, especially midfield towards the back end, we seem to have more problems there because the front three don't get a lot of service, so they don't score. Then the creative one is Bruno, who will get the ball, but he doesn't get the ball most of the times. When he does get ball, he's half the time it goes the wrong way.
Do you think, well, I'm going to poll this question to everyone. In the last game, Bruno never played, okay? So in most games, Bruno turns over the ball consistently. You might get that, everyone will sit here and go, oh yeah, but he does one or two decent passes. In the last game, Bruno never played. We kept the ball pretty well. Do you think that made a massive difference to the team?
I agree.
Yes.
I totally agree.
I-
agree with that. Go ahead.
Joe, what did you say? Adam's question was, what did you in the last game? Bruno didn't play. Were United better with the ball without Bruno?
I said someone there.
Definitely yes.
Okay. All right.
My thing is it's a cost benefit, right? If he's going to give the ball away, let's say 30% of the time, right? Then we need to see at least 2 goals from that. When those giving up the balls like that doesn't produce results, as in goals or assists, right? Then we're basically just it's basically just passing the ball back to the other team, just giving them more opportunities to score against us, and that's terrible. It's okay, and you can bury it, and you can hide behind it when it's just him doing it. But you have another player doing that, like let's say a Rashford or Ronaldo, like that one game that we had, like all 3 of them had like double digits possession loss. It's horrendous on the team. It gets the team tired a lot quicker because we're running back on defense to try to get the ball back, right? All he's dealing with counterattack, right? And if we could just hold on to the ball longer, he needs to be told, he needs to be managed to pick his passes better. I
agree.
Unless we're scoring 2 or 3
The other
goals.
thing you're making a point there about turning over the ball. We've got 2 players in our midfield that turn over the ball, or 3 players in our midfield that turn over the ball a lot. So you're talking Bruno, Scott McTominay, and Bruno, and Fred. So
We have a whole
how's-
midfield.
We've got a whole midfield that turns over the ball consistently.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you now.
Okay.
All right. Let me
Man,
go
this
to
thing is
Devin.
crazy.
Devin,
Yes.
on against Burnley, Bruno didn't play. United didn't lose the ball as much. What's your take on that?
So I also think that a big factor in why we didn't turn over the ball that much is I feel like whenever Bruno and Ronaldo are on the pitch, Bruno is just gonna hoof the ball up forward and expect Ronaldo to run down some ball and some pass and hopefully get something done and just play the Ronaldo ball. Of course, teams know that, and so teams will put extra marking on Ronaldo, and you could have other players that they won't focus on as much. And Bruno's still trying to hit this miracle ball every single time. I think against Burnley, when you had Ronaldo and Cavani up top, the defenses then had a much bigger problem to worry about because
Yeah,
now
we
you
see.
also had 2 players who both have striker who know how to run properly. And so it's okay, which one do you focus on more and more? And I think there was one opportunity where Ronaldo had set up. It was a header that I thought it was going to be a goal from Cavani, but the Burnley defense did a good job with it. And so I was hoping that Bruno was watching that and seeing, okay, yes, the miracle ball works every once in a while, but the midfield as a whole yesterday, they played well together because of that. So you want to take those opportunities here and there. Okay, that's fine. The other thing that I need to be seeing more of is if you're going to play those balls and you're going to lose it, you better be taking the next 8-10 seconds like that, sprinting afterwards, trying to make
That's
up
right.
for what before. Because when you just lose the ball and you just start sulking and moaning, and then what did Gary Neville call it? Whinging, I think it was.
Yeah,
something
winning
like
and conducting.
Yes. So if you want to play that ball, that's fine, but you better be able to make up for something. Better be able to sprint after that ball for the next couple of seconds afterwards to make up for it. And then okay, it can be forgiven, okay, because you're putting in the work. But if you're just gonna just throw that ball up and just act like, my stuff doesn't stink, I don't have to track back with somebody else's job. No, that is a big issue.
Thank you, Devin. Bams, you wanted to say something? Burnley
Man,
game, you saw the United played better, retaining the ball without Bruno. What's your take quickly?
I think I agree with that. Can you guys hear me though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine. No.
Okay. I think I think yes, we did play better without Bruno there. I do agree, but I don't want us to say, oh yeah, we need Bruno not to play games because of that. Bruno still has to play, Bruno is the only player that's going to take those risky passes. You still need Bruno to come into the game though, regardless. I think it's all about coaching. I think this team has not been properly coached. When Ole was a manager, and that shows in the way Bruno plays, in the way Rashford plays. It shows again the manager deploys a team that plays in his own identity, in the way he wants them to play. He just tells them, go out and enjoy yourself, just go out and play. And again, remember, Ole was always relying on individual brilliance. Rangnick is not that way. I think just give it time. I think when Rangnick really is in more time on the training ground with these players, I think you will get to see Bruno not losing the ball as much, because he's going to be coached to play into a system. Because Bruno's a player that basically plays risky football. He's not a system type player per se, but he can be coached that way because he's an intelligent player. So I just think you just got to give it time. But Bruno has to come into the game against Wolves. You definitely need that creativity. That's for sure.
Chris.
Yeah, I agree with Ben. Bruno has to come in. We cannot play without Bruno. But also the reason why we cannot look good without Bruno on that midfield is because of this man called Matic. That dude was masterclass up in there. And then up front of him was Sancho and Greenwood. Those guys don't know, apart from Greenwood, who plays like touch and go. The other guy was Greenwood, who was like, he wasn't holding the ball. He get the ball, he goes forward. He wasn't doing nothing with the ball. You know, Greenwood want to just be in the box and score. Whenever you have Bruno behind the strikers, Bruno going to hold the ball a little bit, trying to see who's open and pass the ball to them. That's why he loses balls sometimes too much. But Greenwood, against the ball, it's either he's up in the final third trying to score something. That's why I didn't see us losing a lot of balls. And the one that was lost, Matic was there to get them, all of them. And that's why Burnley didn't even have a lot of chances to come and score us. So I'd say playing Matic there, and the whole system also. The whole system that changed on that game was another reason why we didn't have a lot of ball possession lost.
Right. Okay. Vimo.
Yeah, I'm here.
We also, without Bruno, the team kept the ball a bit more than when Bruno plays. Are you all or against?
Or against what? Playing Bruno?
Bruno, yeah. Because he
I
does
would
tend to
definitely play
lose
the
the
guy.
ball.
I know. Yeah, he's not the most efficient player in terms of keeping possession, but you know, he has been that creative spark for a long time. And as Ben said, you know, it was individual brilliance. He was given a lot of free license over the past 3 years to go and do what he does.
Yes.
So he's not been restrained or coached in a certain way to play football. He just plays how he plays. I think with the Rangnick system, though, he will adapt, and I think he'll become more efficient as a player, keep the ball better, and yeah, fair enough. You know, you see those risky passes, those incisive passes that he does make sometimes, but he does miss as well a lot of the time. So I think he may hold back on those very risky passes. I think Rangnick's system is all about possession, keeping that ball, and then slowly building up the play, because he doesn't want the opposition to have the ball. It's the same with what Pep and Klopp do. So I will see Bruno evolving as a player, but I would like to see next to him, we touched on it earlier, is Van de Beek. If we're going to play as two number 10s, I think Van de Beek could fit into that slot next to him, and then have Sancho out on the wing, and then a left winger. I don't know who that is at the moment because Martial and Rashford are both out of form. So potentially there's a spot there for Van de Beek and Bruno to conduct midfield.
All right, Joe. Bruno keeping the ball, losing the ball. Your take?
I mean, I look at it like it's kind of like, let's say you have a player that has a really good shot, right? And the person has a really good shot outside the box. They're always on target, right? So
Right.
with Bruno, he has his passing ability is peak, right? So instead of just allowing him to pass the ball whenever he wants, we need to create a system in which players are making themselves available for his passes.
There
The
you
same-
go.
A striker, we create a system where a striker is in the best position, like maybe he needs to be isolated, maybe you give him some space so that he can take the best shot. Bruno, for a while, how to not take Bruno for a while has been allowed to not take the most efficient pass. He's been told just pass it when you think it's there. Where we need to create a system to give Bruno a higher probability pass rating. So that's all. He should definitely still play, but that it's like if you let me just make a reference with the NBA. You tell players to make higher percentage shots over. That's why you don't see a lot of players do fadeaway 3-pointers because that's not a high percentage shot. You see, if you have somebody that's 6', you want him playing closer to because that's a higher percentage shot. Bruno just needs to be coached to make higher percentage passes. Don't just chuck the ball. He's constantly trying to make highlights, and it's great for the highlights and everything. But when it fails badly, and it
Costs the team.
It completely kills a lot of our movements. It kills a lot of our it just like when passing, he just gives the ball away, and we have to restart all the time. So he can still definitely start, but that can easily be coached out of him. And hopefully Ragnick hopefully he's not pushing back on Ragnick, telling him not to make those passes because it seems like that's him.
All right, thanks, Joe. Devin, do you have a question for anybody here?
This one actually goes more alongside of, I don't know if you covered it yet. How do you take the Dean Henderson situation right now?
So,
He
just has to leave the club and go get. He has to be sold or put out on loan. Simple as.
Who wants to answer that question first? Bems, go on, Bems.
Yeah, I said with the Dean Henderson situation, he's not going to play ahead of De Gea. He's not going to share the role with De Gea. That would be a stupid move. He just has to be sent out on loan or be sold. It's either or. He has to find a new club. That's just the way I see it. But it looks like Ralph is gonna, because I read something, Ralph saying that he wants three senior goalkeepers. So it's gonna be a case of what Ralph and the club wants versus what Henderson wants. And if you ask me, I think probably what Ralph and the club wants is to have those three senior goalkeepers. So you probably won't see Henderson leave till the summer, probably.
Right.
But he has
my
to leave.
thing when it comes to that is it's like what I said, the Donny situation, that the World Cup is coming in just under a year now.
Yeah.
And I think that Dean should be in that World Cup side, but how can he get in if he's not playing? While at the same time, we all know just how good of a goalkeeper he actually is. And so my concern is that he leaves for another English club and just absolutely balls out. I mean, keep in mind, yes, we have De Gea. De Gea right now is undroppable, but it's just I'm worried about what happens if, God forbid, he gets injured.
Right.
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
Adam.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go on.
Look, United's always had two top-class keepers, so I don't know. I think Henderson does want to stay around, but for the benefit of himself, he needs to move on. So it's a tough one. De Gea isn't that good a form. You can't drop him, but I'm sure Henderson, when FA Cup comes around, he'll be playing, and but that'll be the only tournament he'll get into while De Gea is in this kind of form. So, we've got how many keepers? We've got three keepers. Yeah, so they can do a job, but it's De Gea the one that's keeping us in the games.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think Henderson's good enough to keep us in the games at the moment. No way.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Chris.
not at De Gea standard.
Yeah, Chris, can you respond to Devin? What do you think of the whole Dean Henderson quickly?
The hair is undroppable right now. You cannot touch him. I know Henderson feels I know he balled for that team. Was it Bournemouth? Which team? Southampton, whatever. Then he came back, and last season, I don't understand why all the I know every player can go off the form for a minute, but dropping De Gea, I think was a good thing because he
De
came
Gea
back.
had his baby. Didn't De Gea have the baby?
Yes.
Yeah, he had the
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
he
yeah,
had
the
the baby.
baby
and
thing,
never
yeah.
came back.
Never got dropped. He never got
Okay,
dropped.
but that thing, once he came back, he never played, right?
Yeah.
No, it was
and-
one
and-
game. It was only, I think it was
Big
only
bench
one game.
at
and then
times.
he came
At times,
back.
big bench makes a player mentally even much better. Look at Luke Shaw. He was benched by Mourinho. He came back a good guy. You know what I mean? Like Marshall is complaining about this big bench and nobody big bench, but I think sometimes big bench makes a player even better. So I mean, he should just accept be bench. His time is coming. He's only like 22, 23. They ain't gonna be there for another 4 or 5 years.
Ah,
So,
The World Cup is coming next year. He wants to be playing. There's
but he ain't the best England number one. I can even take Johnson number one to be England. He ain't the best in England. He's a
No,
he-
no,
he about
No,
number
no, no.
three.
Johnson's
Yeah.
not number one, man.
it's Everton goalkeeper.
It's,
Everton goalkeeper. I
it's
think is number
Pickford.
one.
It's Pickford.
Pickford.
Pickford is number one.
That's
And
the
and,
thing.
and, and then you
I'm
can argue
saying
that Ramsdale will be
he's
number
not.
two,
I
actually.
I
behind
know
Pickford.
what I said. He's not. There are better goalkeepers than him in England.
Wow.
Yeah,
can name about
you're
three.
right about that. That's true.
I
Yeah,
can name about 3 goalkeepers better than him in
right
England.
now because they're playing. He's not playing, so you got to factor in. If he is playing, he's probably he's not better than Pickford. Playing or not playing, he's not better than Pickford.
Actually, he's better than
Yes,
in
he is.
England. In
He's
England, you
better
don't get picked because you're better. You should know
Huh?
better. You should know in England, you don't get picked because you're better than anybody else. You beat because how they see you.
To be honest,
Not necessarily. Not
Well,
necessarily.
Vim,
Some players.
Vim,
Some
Hold
Hold on,
players.
hold on,
Vim
Ben.
can
One
answer
at a
that.
time.
It
One
depends.
at a time. Ben, finish off what
Yeah,
you're saying.
Vim's the answer to that. Yeah, he will answer it. Look, he's
I
a
said-
man that lives here all the time.
In England, you don't pick because you're better.
No,
That's a fact.
not necessarily. It's there's some players that they're nailed on, like Kane, Harry Kane, Sterling. Those players are nailed on, going to be in the team, come rain, come sunshine, right? And but then you have players. Okay, then when it comes to I think Rice is another player that's probably going to be he's always going to get picked. Then I think but then I think every other position is in you're pretty much surplus, or is in you can be swapped out anytime. I think
Right.
Harry Maguire is another player is always going to be
Oh,
picked
yes.
too.
Yes.
But then who else? I think I think those 4 players and then probably.
Luke
But then when it
Shaw's
comes to
one.
goalkeeper, no, Shaw's not always going to be picked. Shaw was.
no,
I mean, Shaw just started getting picked last season because he was on form. I think Kyle Walker is always going to be picked, most likely. I think I don't know, but then when it comes to goalkeeper, it's probably going to be Pickford.
Pickford will start.
It's always going to be Pickford, except someone else comes in, just blows it out of the water like Ramsdale or someone else.
And you understand, Pickford is no better than Johnson, right?
Johnson? Who are you talking about?
I think he is, mate. Right.
I
Let's
think he's from
let's
Atlanta.
let's
I
move away
think
from the
he is.
England thing
I
and
think
stick
he
with Man
is.
United. Joe,
I think he is.
Henderson situation now. Does he stay United or loaning him out?
I think definitely we should loan him out. He definitely should be playing. But if he's trying to lead this team because he's trying to get in the England squad, nah, bro. I have zero confidence that Southgate can see the talent that he's got. So good luck with that one. I think it would be an opportunity missed to no longer play with the greatest club in the world. But if he feels like he needs to leave, I say he should be.
He's got to leave, man, for his career.
Yeah, if that's the case, hey, let's get a bag on him. Let's get a few bags for him. You know. So I would like him to stay because I would love to see him develop as our number one. I did not see De Gea looking like. I thought De Gea had maybe 1 or 2 seasons left a year ago. Now he's looking like he's here for another 3 seasons, easy.
De Gea just 30 though,
Okay.
just so
All
you
right.
know. Goalkeepers
Bit
can play
more.
to like 40.
Vimo, Henderson situation from what Devin said.
Yeah, I mean, he's 24, playing as an understudy to one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the biggest club in the world. I think he should fall back in line. You know, De Gea's
That'd be
having
harsh, isn't it?
Well, he
It's-
should, right?
it's-
It's a team. It's a team effort. You know, if
It's the truth. It's the truth.
should fall back in line. I mean, he's there as a number two to replace De Gea when he's injured or he can't
Right.
play for whatever reason, and so his time will come, and he's young.
Because
You know,
Ole
and,
last season kind of gave him a bit of hope that
Yeah,
he was going to be the number one. Then all of a sudden, De Gea came back and just like, you know what, go take your spot behind me, mate.
yeah, and he did make a few howlers, didn't he, Dean Henderson
Yes.
last year?
Yes,
Yeah, you did.
So
He did.
he
Right.
needs to.
When he got the
But I
chance,
also think as well, you know, we've got a lot of competitions. You know, not in this season, but next.
Mm.
So he can help out in some of the other cup competitions, and he will get a lot of game time. You know, Oli was blowing all of these cups, we were losing, you know, silly cups like what was it, Carling Cup and the other one. I think with Ragnick and future managers, we're going to be staying in all the competitions. So we've got plenty of games that he can get involved in.
Okay.
But he needs to fall back in line.
Right.
I
Joe,
think.
question for the crew.
Oh,
If you don't have any, it's fine. You don't have to.
I don't have one. I'll think about one, but I don't have
All
one
right.
right now.
All right. Chris, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
I don't know what is. No, I don't have a question. I have a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, speak your comments.
It's a
then.
question. It's a question that can be okay. It's a question. It's a
Okay.
question actually.
Okay, make your comment in the form of a
Okay.
question.
It's a question actually.
Okay.
Do you really think this younger press gonna work with this team?
Why not? Why can't it work if they're coached?
I
into it?
asked a question. Do you really think
Yeah, okay.
they're gonna work
I-
with this with the players that we have?
Okay.
I think okay, let me answer your question, right? I think again, these are professional football players, right? So the gang press, now there will be players that can press better than others, but at the end of the day, if you are coached, if you are well coached into the gang press, which takes time to coach it into a team, you will be able to play that type of football. A thing that is a big factor is the fitness levels, and so that the fitness levels has to dramatically improve, and then you can start coaching that gang pressing. It's going to take time. Again, as I said, some players are better at it than others, but I see no reason why this team can't play gang press if they're properly coached into it.
Okay. Adam, do you have a response to Chris's question
What was it again, mate? Sorry.
about
I got a bit lost there.
the pressing? United can United implement that pressing?
You know, you saw him do it. And everyone got excited about it. So it's definitely they can do it. I just don't understand where it's gone. How can you do it one game? And I get what Beams is saying about the fitness side of things, but they did show they can do it. So
That is true, though. They did show.
I don't get where it's gone. You know, they showed they could do it, and then all of a sudden, bang,
Ooh,
it's gone.
vanished.
And it was under Carrick. It was under Carrick, remember? And everyone's saying Rennick's in the
Actually, that
background.
was true. You know, I thought it was.
It's-
Yeah, that's true.
It
Yeah,
was-
that's
it was
true.
under-
That's true. They did
Crystal
press
Palace.
under Carrick a couple times
It
there.
was
Yeah,
under Carrick. And
yeah. And
we haven't done it under Rannick. So
Wow.
whether people think it was in the background, he was saying about it in the background, we haven't seen it under him. So
well, actually, they pressed on against Crystal Palace.
As far as
the
I
first
thought
half.
it was
That
Palace
that was Ralph.
Okay.
That was Ralph.
So okay, Devin, do you respond to Chris's question about the pressing? Can this team do that quickly?
Well, everyone's already said it. We showed it for one match, Crystal Palace, that we could do it, and so it's just what happened since then. Did the complacency start kicking back in, which is what my suspicion is? But the players have shown that they can do it. Now I think they just need to be coached into it to do it performance after,
Consistently.
not just a one-off here or there, or just for the quote big matches. You need to do it for every single match.
Right.
But yes, they can do it.
Okay. Joe, can they do that?
They definitely can. We just have to. You need authority in that locker room. You need authority in that training ground. And if you have players that are not up for it, Ragnick might need a few more months to institute, because This is a completely different style, and we got captains complaining about extra practice. Well, no shit. We're trying to implement a completely different system. You're gonna need to practice more because the damn sure don't look like they're practicing on the pitch on the weekend. So as long as the team would have to be bought in. If we still have starters that are not bought in, it's not going to work because you need everybody to be bought into the system in order for it to work. So it depends on whether he's going to be able to get them buy-in.
Right.
That's it.
Vimo, can they do it?
Can they do the press?
Yeah.
Definitely they can. It's all about fitness and synchronicity. So if you're going to press, you have to press at the same time. And some of the players can do it. Fred is a very good presser. Bruno does press. Sancho's come from that system as well in Germany. But some of the other players don't know when to go and when to hold back. So it's about the whole team being in unison, pressing together at the same time. But they also need to get their fitness up, and hence these extra fitness training classes, which they don't want to go to. So it is going to take a bit of time, but they most definitely can. And every player is capable of pressing. It's not difficult.
Exactly.
How difficult is it to press against a player?
Exactly.
I know, right?
It's not rocket science.
I heard Maguire saying they have to get used to. He has to get used to training again in the evening. I mean, really, bro? You get paid 100, 200, 100,000 plus a week. You can't come. Man, get the hell out of there, mate.
Lazy twats, man.
Just lazy.
Again,
Just lazy.
Another player that's good at pressing is Donny, man. Donny is a player that can press. Just so you guys know. So he doesn't play, but he can press. He came from a system.
He can press
from that system too.
He can press from the bench for fun.
Right. Vimo, do you have a question?
It's about Rashford, really.
Okay.
Obviously, his form has dropped a lot. I mean, he was brilliant when he broke into the first team, and he scored some amazing goals, and he went on a great run. But he had a lot of injuries. He was being plagued through injuries, and he's been focused on his charity work here in the UK. A lot of distractions, a lot of problems. What do you think is going to be the best outcome for him? Do you think he should stay at the club? He's 24 years old now. Do you think he's going to be at Man U for the rest of his life until he retires? What do you guys see happening with Rashford?
Adam, let me go with Adam. Start on that one.
Well, I think Rashford will be around. He's a young player. He's a Mancunian, and he'll always be there. I don't think they'll sell him. No way. I think he'll do, and he promotes the club really well. With all his charity work and everything like that, and it resonates with Manchester United with their foundation. So I think he's a good ambassador for the club, and they won't get rid of him. And regardless how he's playing, he has to learn how to play under this system as well. Hence the reason why he's been dropped. So if we can make excuses for the team not defending well or pressing well, why can't we make an excuse for Rashford? People have to remember he's been our top goal scorer in the past few years. Yet everyone's forgotten about Martial and everything. Now everyone's bullying Rashford. I'm a fan of Rashford. The guy tries. And his heart's for Manchester United. It's not for no one else. He wants to be there. He's one of those players we do need and to guide along. We've got a kid named Greenwood that's just getting his fucking career ruined because everyone wants to hype up about Ronaldo. Okay, we need Ronaldo to score goals for us, but we need to develop our players. No one talks about our academy either. Our academy's a shambles, but that gets swept under the carpet. Everyone thinks the green is. Everyone's now talking about our team instead of the board because we get a couple of results. So at Manchester United, it goes deeper than the players. And we're hoping Ranić turns that around for us. So
Okay.
I'm sorry to put it in that perspective, but that's the way it is. And that's
It is what it is, bro. We can't sugarcoat everything. Right. Devin, Rashford.
Yeah, he definitely will stay at the club. He's not getting sold anytime soon. He is Manchester red, born and bred. The issue right now is it goes along with what I said earlier. I think he needs a little bit of time on the bench. You need to bring up one of these fringe players right now who's on the brinks of breaking in. Let him get into Rashford's position and let him ball out and say, Rashford, you want to get back in? You rediscover your form from this. But he's not going anywhere for now.
Okay. Joe, Rashford.
Hey, I love Rashford just like everyone else. All right. Daniel saved this team when he was 18 years old. Okay. But if Rashford is not willing to play within a system, and
Does
what I-
Ronaldo play in the system? Does Ronaldo play in the system?
are you
What
putting
fucking Ronaldo does is whinge, man.
Are you
because he
putting
doesn't
Ronaldo
get the
in same
ball.
category as Rashford?
That's bullshit, man. You can't-
Hold. Let Joe finish.
I'll do it like this. When Ronaldo came into the team, he was a better prospect than Rashford ever was.
Oh,
Ronaldo came and played on this system and made it work. I need to see Rashford do the same thing. I need to see Rashford improve his game mentally, right? The same way I need to see Bruno improve his game, right? I see Rashford. A lot of times we watch this team and we're watching too many individuals. I feel like Rashford did not always wasn't always like that, but he has become one of those individual players on the pitch.
Because Ronaldo's not individual, is he?
But Ronaldo is the GOAT, man.
Fucking bullshit, man. Fuck the
Oh,
goat,
okay.
man.
Okay.
He's
All
a
right.
little piss
Adam,
take.
Adam, hold. Chris, finish off.
Every player has that one bad season, and Rashford is having one of those bad seasons.
But
You know what I
Rashford's
got?
24 years old.
I know it's even Christian had a bad season in Madrid. Every player will have a bad
And he
season.
had bad seasons.
And listen, he just came from injury. He just came from a surgery. Give him just 6 seasons. I mean, he just came from a back surgery. You know that. He just came from a back surgery at 24. Just give him time.
Hey,
He's 24.
I'm willing to
you
give him
guys,
time, but when he comes
you
back,
guys, you guys need to be you guys need to remember that we've had for 3 years under Ole, these players have not been properly coached. So Rashford is a
That
talented
I
player.
agree with. I agree with that point.
Rashford has potential. Rashford
Without a
right
doubt.
now he's playing again. I'm gonna say this. Ole, one of the teams to play his identity, which is an individual, well, not identity, whatever, but Ole relied on individual brilliance. Rashford was one of those players that
Very correct.
always came up with that. But now we have a new coach, we have a new manager. So I think you will see if this team is going to be properly coached, you should see a better Rashford. Rashford has just not been coached well enough for the past few years. He's still a good player, but for now he needs to be benched, and he needs to learn how to play in the system, which to me that's more important than anything else right now. So
I agree. That's what I
agree.
just said.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
So-
Unnecessary. The comments that are going against him is so unnecessary.
Right. Okay, Adam, your case is you're saying, if I understand your case, you're saying Rashford is getting unnecessary criticism. Is that your case?
100% he is. Like,
But I think the
No,
whole
it's-
team needs to be criticized because and this is from my perspective. I feel Rashford has
yeah, but
so much
even
potential.
when the guy was scoring the most goals in our team, he was copping it.
Right. It's the same
was
thing. But,
copping it even then,
but
so
do you agree
guy
he's
can't
off
win.
form? Do you agree he's off form of late? Do you agree? Yes or no?
I totally agree that nothing pisses me off more than Rashford running at a player and losing the ball.
Right.
And he does that more than anything. I
Right.
don't know if he thinks he's Georgie best or what.
There we are. Adam,
Huh?
me and
I
you.
totally agree.
That is what we're
I
saying.
totally
Adam.
agree.
He loses the ball running into blind alleys. That needs to improve. Under Ole, he
But
got
I
away
can't
with that.
sit
Maybe
here.
it
I
wasn't
can't
criti-
sit here. I
Hmm.
can't sit here and criticize Rashford and not criticize Ronaldo.
Okay,
Yeah,
Because
hold
Ronaldo
on.
scores the
Hold on.
fucking tap in.
Let me take the tape back, Adam. Before Ronaldo came, Rashford was doing the same thing. You see, this still comes down to Ole.
How was he? He was our top goal scorer.
Hold on.
He was our top goal scorer, was he not?
Hold on. I get that. But if you realize, and this is my perspective as well. Ole had his favorites, the Bruno, the Maguires, the Rashford. Even the games they were poor, they still get played. They were burnt out. That you saw them in
Seems
the
like
Europa-
Rannick's doing the same thing, does it not?
Hold on. You still saw the Europa final. They were burnt out because they were overplayed. And I will never forget the game against Liverpool. Cavani was so open. Cavani said, I'm free, pass the ball. Rashford,
Yeah.
what did he do? I'm going to dribble 3 more players, then pass. And that cost us 3 points. Yeah, it didn't make a difference when we didn't go fine. We still ended up second. But it's these things we're saying.
Yeah,
And
but you
that
can
has
talk about that with the whole team.
that
You
is
can
what I'm
talk about
saying.
that with the whole team.
But we're saying certain players who have so much potential currently, Martial, off form. Martial doesn't get a look in. Rashford, off form. Now, even Bruno, off form. Maguire, always been off form. But this is where we are. They still get picked. I don't think Rashford, I don't think he's playing 100%. I don't think he's 100% fit. I don't think he's 100% fit from his injury. I really don't think he's 100%. I still think Rashford is still struggling a bit from the injury. So his form has not even helped either. That's what we're saying. It's not about Ronaldo and Rashford. Ronaldo came into the team even while the season has started. Rashford was barely even playing. But when he started to play, you can still see he's still struggling. That's what I'm saying. See one point. That it's not criticism. It's simply saying, is he really fit? Is he 100% fit at this moment? Because his form has not shown it. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I think some of the
But
lads.
that's never the excuse with other people, but that's never. You always get, oh no, he's just shit. He's just shit. So he shouldn't play.
So I mean, like, let me come in and say this right now. It's
Yeah.
as simple as Rashford right now. Yes, I am kind of pissed off with his form right now. I think he's been very wasteful of opportunities that he's had. He is not the only player who I think has been wasteful of the opportunities. And my whole thing is that I would like to treat everybody equally. They deserve praise when they deserve it. At the same time, you can't just be all about praise, and that makes you free from being criticized. It goes down to, okay, you are playing badly right now. Why are you still getting picked over somebody who's right on the verge of coming into the side and who could also make a difference and give them the opportunity, which could then motivate the player in return to earn his spot back, come back even better. And that's all that I'm trying to get at with this.
Right. Bems. Is Bems there? Kay, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm
Happy
here. I'm
New
here.
Year.
I'm here.
I didn't see you coming in, but hey, welcome. Happy
Wait.
New Year, Kay. Kay, where we are now, we're literally close to rounding up, but we're just gonna bring you into the situation. You're in UK. You're even more northern than Vimal and myself. We're more south of England, from London. As it stands with Rashford, what's the situation with Rashford? Adam is saying he doesn't think the criticism on Rashford is fair in terms of current form. What's your take?
My thing is with United, we've noticed it over the years. We always have scapegoats, and it goes from one player to another. Like it was McTominay and Fred. Now they're doing all right. It's going back to Rashford. It's for me. It's just I think players like Rashford, they're victims of management that's gone wrong, playing different systems. His confidence, he's a confidence player anyway, so his confidence cuts to pieces. And then obviously, remember that back injury that they talked about where they said that it can affect him for a long time. I think they compared to Van Persie where they said it's one of them ones you'll always have to manage. So I don't know, since that injury, he's never really looked the same. So I don't know if it's a combination of that and just playing in a bad team, but I think he's the sort of player that needs a break, I think, and just needs. Like, ideally, if it was we were in a good team, you'd have a break, taken out of the team and brought back in. But because we need points at the moment. We just need everyone firing. And at the moment, there's a lot of players that are not firing, and he's one of them. But he just needs some confidence, to be honest. And hopefully under Rangnick, we'll see some better performances from him as he gets coached, because a lot of our youth players or younger players that we've had from a young time, none of them have really improved under any manager. Some have come through, but I can't think of one player that's come through the ranks that's consistently played well. We've all like Dan James was the scapegoat when he first was firing. Then he hit cold. Then Martial becomes a scapegoat. Pope, it's just I think our fan base are very
Critical.
Yeah, it's always one player's fault.
I
It's never
think
really
I
the
think
team's
comes
fault.
down to the fan base expects a lot from certain players, which is understandable. Like, you know, you have City fans, United, Liverpool fans. The main players they expect a lot from. And yeah, the players go through bad form, but when the form is, like I said, I'm a big Bruno fan, but I would tell you hands up, since the Leeds game, I think Bruno has really struggled. He's been wasteful. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Bruno up to now a 4.5. He's been poor. That's my opinion. Is he a good creator? Yes. Is he wasteful? Very much.
Tim, do you know what you're gonna see from Bruno? He's a player that thrived under Oli because he could do whatever he wanted.
That's what some of the guys. That's what some of the guys said. Under Ole, he wasn't criticized. I said, like, bro, you need to stop wasting. Adam said the same thing.
Now you're seeing Bruno having to change his game and adjust, and he's struggling because he can't just do what he wants no more. And this is the thing with United. We need to go back to a team where we can't carry people. Everyone has to be pulling in the right direction.
Too many passengers. We need to all be drivers.
Yeah, exactly. So,
right, Bems, you were about to say something. Bems, you're about to say something on the Rashford situation.
Yeah. I mean, I think I pretty much agree with what Kay's saying. It's pretty much the victims of a bad management. These players have not been properly coached. So yes, Rashford has been messing up. He's not been on form. Bruno's not been on form. And these two players are similar type players. They is a moment players. They don't really play in our systems because they've not been coached that way. We've not played a proper system since for the past how many years. So I think you just got to give them time under Ralph and see what happens. I think they're still good players. Yes, but you have to give them time under a new management.
Right.
As in a new coaching system. So see what happens.
So Vimal, does that answer your Rashford situation, or did you have more to add to the Rashford question?
No. I just wanted to get a feeling from the group as to what you think about this Rashford situation, because he's a Mancunian through and through. But he just seems a little bit troubled recently. Form has suffered injuries. I mean, his heart's in the right place, but like Welbeck, he came through the ranks and then he was eventually sold off to Arsenal, and now he's going, he's been dotted around from club to club. So you just don't know what's in the cards for some of these.
Right. I think
players.
Martial and Rashford have suffered the most because they both played under Van Gaal, then Mourinho, then Ole, then Carrick. I mean, let's put Carrick, then Ranić now. So they played under 4 different systems over the last 5 years. And if you notice, because they played on so many, it's different. They have to keep adapting to different styles, and I feel for them two specifically. I feel for them too. For De Gea, it's okay because it's kind of a goalkeeperish. But for them two, they played under the 4 different managers over the last 6 years. Martial's probably the biggest victim because he's literally out the doors, kind of. You know what I mean?
Do you know the problem, Tim, with that is it's not even just the 4 different managers. Normally, you'll have managers and they'll come in and they'll keep some of the backroom stuff. I remember Van Gaal had the guy that's at Arsenal, Alf, whatever. He was managing the game yesterday. He was the assistant on the Van Gaal. Then you had Carrick, Giggs was the assistant. But it's just been shuffle.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with not having a sporting director and not having a philosophy that you want to play, because this is why teams like Liverpool or the Chelseas, you can change the team, a player can come in, they know what they're doing. Whereas when it was United, it was like higgledy-piggledy. Players didn't know what they were doing. And you can see it when they come on the pitch, and it's terrible. Like, and everyone's saying, but the professional footballers, but if you go on the pitch and you don't know what you're meant to be doing, like, it's a problem. Especially when you're an attacking player. As a defender, it's a lot easier to play your game because everything's in front of you, and you know it's the basics. Whereas when you're attacking, the combination
comes behind you.
Yeah. And it breaks down a lot for us, and I can't remember the last time we've been firing properly. Like, I can't remember it, to be honest.
Okay, do you have a question for anybody here?
Yeah, I just want to ask, what are people's thoughts on Ralph so far? Because I know some people are a bit, it's the same Ollie ball. And I was like, wow, the guy's been here, is it 5 games? And he's only drawn 1 game. He's won all the games. Like, I think people need to give him a bit of a break.
Who wants to go first?
I would like Chris to answer that question first.
All right, go on, Joe.
No, I would like Chris I would like
He's-
Chris
he's-
to answer that
Oh, okay.
He's
question.
left the
Chris
building.
He's not even
Chris
there.
is on a commercial break. Who wants to take the question now?
I think
Alright, go,
to respond to Kay, I think it's still early days, yes. However, I would expect, just like AK, we've gone back and forth about this in the other group, but I think you should be seeing some type of press, even if it's for 5 minutes. You should still see, because the game against Newcastle, we didn't press. If we haven't pressed since Crystal Palace, and that's worrying. That's very worrying. However, it's still early days, and I think that Ralph is just not. He's not had like a proper coaching session where he's had like a couple weeks to really drive it in. But it is worrying that we're basically still seeing Ole ball, but
Right.
just a little bit more balanced isn't
Okay.
per se. That's what I'll say.
Adam, do you think? I mean, Kay, I'll ask Adam the question again. I can't.
I was just saying, what are people's thoughts on Ollie? Not Ollie, on the Ralph. Are they happy with what we're seeing? And do you think it's similar to Ollie ball? Because I don't think it is personally, but some people believe it. It's very similar.
No, I don't think. I think it's good. I don't mind it actually. I think the players are working for him. That's for sure, and that's the most important thing. So, my biggest concern is I don't see too much change. How can I say that? Like, I don't want to say it's the same style as Ollie because it's completely not. Definitely the setup's different and stuff like that. I don't really understand that kind of system. I'm struggling with it. The second half I did of the last game. I just think it's too narrow for our team. But yeah, I think it's positive. I think we're moving in a good direction. I just think we're moving in a good direction. I just think it's down to some of the players' form that we're not getting it together.
Right.
I like Ralph. I think he's doing a great job. You can see on the sidelines that he's really involved in the game. You can
He's not looking at a screen, right?
He looks like a manager that really wants to go forward and really wants to make this project work.
Says the right
And I'm
things.
not saying that Ollie didn't want that, but emotions. Ollie's emotions in the game were all about Manchester United and I love this club. Where Ralph just wants to work his job correctly,
That's
and
very correct.
he's really involved in this. He's taken the passion. He hasn't got the passion of the club that Ollie has, but this is a job for Ralph, and he really wants to make it work, and he wants to see this team go forward, whether it's just for the next 6 months or beyond. So, no, I like it. I think it's good. I just don't get the Maguire thing. The Maguire thing kills me. It lets the team down bad. And I just want players. And look, I get, my feelings on Ronaldo, and I can't take away what he's achieved and everything like that. It's absolutely brilliant. But I just can't stand players standing there, throwing their arms around. And it's not just him. Bruno's into it as well. Criticising players when they should be guiding players. They're a different type of player these days. They need guidance. We're not talking about players from the 90s and early 2000s. We're talking about sensitive players, which fucking irritates the hell out of me as well. So, I'm an old school fan, but I like him.
But you're saying that if that's something that you don't like, that you have a bunch of these sensitive players, you understand that's not the type of mentality and the kind of players that we need to get us to success, right?
Yeah, but that's every club. Every club's like that. Every club. You can't tell me every club's not like that. Every team has those players.
I think football. I think
It's
football
just
overall.
a generation of players.
I think this generation of players
Henderson was
are
like that today.
sensitive. I think this generation of players are very sensitive when older players tell them. You have the press, the commentator saying, "Oh, he should not be telling them that." Even when
It's all about the love, mate. It's all about the love. Every player wants that pat on the back.
right,
these days.
which is true. But
Every player wants that
back
pat on
in
the
the
back.
day,
Every player
they
wants
didn't
to be
get that.
told, "Fuck, you're great."
Yeah,
You know?
you used to see back in the day, Keane will go up to Neville, cursing him like, "How the hell you let that girl go past you?" These days, if you say that the media, even when Rangnick was criticizing the players on the touchline against Newcastle, on NBC, the commentators were showing the commentators were saying, "Why is he discouraging them?" He's trying to tell them he's not happy, but they're
Exactly.
used to
That's my point.
what they're used to seeing is Ole sitting
You know what I
down
got out of
there.
that Newcastle? I'll tell you one thing I did enjoy about what I am enjoying about Ronaldo in the last, regardless of his goals, right? Is there's been a couple of games there, probably 2 or 3 games there, where Ronaldo's taken it upon himself to go and hammer a player.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed that because no other player does that. You know, and he'll go in there and he'll cop the yellow card for the team. And next thing you'll get them saying he should be sent off.
This is this is where we are. This is where we are. You can't win, you can't lose. They are criticizing Rangnick for screaming at the players when he wasn't happy against Newcastle. They wanted to sit there like Ole, like keep watching the screen and whispering to McKenna. No, he's gonna stand there and criticize. You see Klopp doing it, but they don't criticize Klopp. They don't criticize Pep, but they criticize Rangnick because he's screaming at the players for not performing. I mean,
Tim, do you know what it is as well, though? The mentality at our club is not where it needs to be. Like, there's too many players that they're soft in terms of like when things don't go their way, they'd rather spit their dummy out than change it. You know,
that's very dangerous, mate. Bruno's a classic example.
100%. I remember there was games where they used to say, if something's not going your way, smash a player, get the crowd going. What happened to that sort of reaction? Nowadays, players just want to sulk and whinge, and it's I think there is a divide. I think there is a
I'm
divide.
getting goosebumps talking like this, I tell you.
Yeah,
right.
There's definitely like cliques in the changing room, and it's not good.
That's true.
And I think that comes from Ollie playing his favourites and players not getting the fair right.
I agree. Chris, Kay's question was, people are saying, how different is Rangnick to Ole? You were a big Ole disciple. I'm just messing with you. That
he actually was. He still is.
All right, Benz. All right, don't start a fire here. Chris, how different is Rangnick from Ole? Because you're a big Ole fan, as Benz can say. And you can see Ben smiling at that situation of you being an Ole disciple. How different is Ole's style to what Rangnick is trying to do?
Rangnick tried to place a system that didn't work, playing Dalot and Chelsea. He was like, nah, I guess this year, ain't gonna work for me. He brought in Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka on the previous game, and he's gonna stick with those guys. You're gonna see Chelsea.
Have you had a squad rotation?
No, I have heard about it, but guess what?
Have you we're playing so many games back to back?
It's my time,
Benz.
You can't play
back to back.
It's my time. Benz, it's my time.
You gotta rotate the squad.
That's a drink, isn't it? My time.
Ain't no squad rotation. You ain't gonna see Teres. You ain't gonna see the other guy from Portugal, Dalot. You're not gonna see them back there again. You're gonna see.
Oh, mate, that's so far from the truth.
I don't agree with you, Chris, but
I don't agree with you, Chris. Yeah,
Chris is a fanatic.
Under Ralph, right?
That's according to me. I mean, I don't criticize your opinion. Let me give my opinion. And then
I respect it without a doubt. Everybody's opinion.
But
we don't have to agree with it, but we
give my opinion. Y'all can have your opinion, and it's not a must you have the same opinion. So
to be fair, you're right, Chris. You're right.
And since the guy Skimmy, apart from the 3 goals he scored against Burnley, I haven't seen more than a goal. It's been about 7 games. 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 1-1.
True.
And then the game scored 3 goals, we changed formation.
Making a point. Good. Joe, Rangnick and Ole, Kay's question.
Yo, he definitely needs more time.
More time.
It's been years of these of a shit style of play that's been allowed to fester at the club. It's been years of a shit style of mentality that's been allowed to fester in the club. It's been even longer of a shit management of the squad that's been allowed to fester. All of that's not going to change in a couple of weeks because somebody wants to come in with a gang press and a style of play. It's going to take some time. I do see progress happening. I think, like I said before, it's going to take for the guys to be all in. If you can get them to buy in, this squad could be good. And it's all about accountability. It's not about just screaming at players That's been the problem with this team. Overall, there has not been accountability in multiple levels at this club. So players have been able to play like shit, but still maintain their squads. Executives have been able to, and people in the front office have been able to make shit moves, shit business moves with trades and negotiating and contracts, still been able to keep their jobs. If Wagner can just bring accountability back into the squad, I think we'll be better off. Definitely much better off in 6 months.
Hey, Joe, do you see Waki by February?
Okay.
By February, by the time we pick up the Champions League again, I want to see a significant, I want to see much better style of play. Yes.
So
if we don't get it by then, I'm worried.
So you see working by February?
By late February, I want to see a significant improvement in our style of play. Yes.
What if you don't change?
If it doesn't, if it doesn't change, then I'm going to look at the results, because at the end of the day, it's a results type game. If we are not at the level that we need to be, but we're still winning the 2-1s or the 1-0, I'll take those all day. Because right now,
me too. For me, okay. I don't even care about all the system. I care about winning.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go to Devin. Let me go to I was getting Devin. Rangnick and Franke's question. Rangnick and Ole. How different are the styles, or are we looking this? Are they looking identical?
It's still too early to tell right now. It's definitely with this 4-2-2 formation. It's different. I'm still, like everyone else has said, trying to come to terms with how the formation actually works.
Right.
I still think it's very narrow. We can get exposed out on the wings. I also think Ralph still needs more time with this team so they can actually understand how this formation is supposed to play. He can come up with drills to implement what he wants done on the pitch. It gives him time to get the fitness that they need for the running, especially with the gegenpressing that's needed. And on top of that, he also has not even had a transfer window, well, not a full one because one just started yesterday, to bring in players who can fit into the system right now. So it's still trying to feel out the players, but he still hasn't lost yet.
Sure.
With that being said, Ole also went on like an 18-match unbeaten run when he first took over too. So the jury is still out, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, with the exception of the whinging from certain players. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Okay. Vimo, Rangnick and Ole, identical, unidentical?
Unidentical, for sure. I mean, he's a breath of fresh air and probably the best coach we've had since Ferguson. This guy knows his football. He has a philosophy. He knows exactly what he wants from the team, and he's got a style and a system to adopt or to implement. One of his first games in, he adopts a 4-2-2 formation. I mean, who's ever seen that in this country, in the UK? None of us have seen that.
I don't think anybody seen it.
Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka were always the favoured players to play on their fullback positions, and he's brought in Tellez and Dalot instantly, and they had an immediate impact. I think he's not shy to make brave decisions. You can see that, and he also adopts data-driven football. So he's looking at he analyzes different parts of he analyzes different types of data to look at where the team is suffering. So he looks at set plays, he looks at defensive action, unforced errors. I think he's going to bring he's a game changer, and he's something that we need at this point in time. So it's all promising. It looks good.
Okay. Bems, Ole, Rangnick, similar or identical?
I think it's too early to say, but he's definitely brought something different. Obviously the formation change that's a no-brainer right there. I think I see Ralph as a coach that is not afraid to drop players. He's not afraid to rotate the squad. He's shown that already a couple times. And so the only thing is that, yes, I still see the intensity is still the same, like when Ole was in charge, and the physicality is still not there yet. It has improved. Well, it was better against It was better against Burnley,
Burnley,
but
who have bigger players.
yeah, who have bigger players. It was a little better, but I think again, just like what others will say, I think it's something that you have to give time, and he has to also too. I think that midfield definitely needs to improve in order for Ragnick's style to show more in the team. He definitely needs a CDM. He needs a CDM with legs that will actually help that as in that style of play. So yeah, it's still early days. You just need to give it time, but there is a difference though. There is a difference, that's for sure.
Okay, good. Well, Joe, you're the only one who didn't have a question. If there's no question, we could just let Kay make his final prediction and we could shut out.
Well,
Joe.
you didn't ask me if I had a question, so
Yeah, I thought I did. Sorry. What question do you have, Ben? The controversial one. Nothing too controversial. Nah, you be yourself, brother.
Well, it's a simple question. Do you guys think with this midfield, do you think this squad can get top 4 this season with the current midfield we have?
Who wants to go first?
We need
Or
a
in
CDM.
general, do you
Adam will
see
go
us?
first.
Or in general, do you see this team getting top 4 by the end of the season?
Not without a proper CDM, a young one.
Okay, Adam.
I would have to wait till the end of February to make that determination. See how the team buys into the new style of play, new system. We could possibly. This is a coach, and if he can coach them, because we don't know how well he can improve the squad. We can have some bums on the squad actually end up looking pretty good. So I'm optimistic about that, but I won't be able to make that determination until the end of February.
Okay, Devin. United midfield currently.
It's tough. It's a tough call. I would have to say yes right now. I think it is, but it would be just squeaking by, and it's also going to have to rely on other teams slipping up here and there as well.
Wow.
And so that is the big if right now, because historically Tottenham will slip up. Everybody knows it.
But if you know, they are playing well under
not-
this guy. What's his name?
But no, Conte. No,
Yeah.
Conte. Conte's a different
They
beast.
got a last minute goal yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like I'm saying, however, under Conte that may change. But going up historically, yes, they have a tendency to slip up towards the end of the season. Arsenal's side right now looks very promising. However, they're very youthful, so I do expect them a slip up here and there. That won't be the same for seasons coming on because they'll get the experience. So depending on those things right now, and as long as our midfield can come together, it's going to be close. But I will say yes, barely right now. If we get that CDM, a proper one, definite top 4.
Okay.
I watched Arsenal yesterday, and on current form, they're a team that are going to be going places on current form. They played so well yesterday, and they did not deserve to lose that game yesterday. If anything, they probably deserved to win it in the end. So unless we start, and I'm not saying we should be playing to Arsenal standards, but to their intensity that they showed yesterday, we're miles behind.
Wow. Chris.
I think with Ben's question, I think we can make top 4 depending on. I think the big teams got dropped points this January, whole bunch of them, and we don't have a hard schedule. We have an easy schedule. We have the easiest schedule again is the top 4, and that top 4
Liverpool's
they
got
lose
an easy schedule as well. I just saw it.
I think we have the easy schedule to make it top 4. If we know the January schedules and the big teams lose some, I think would be, if we get February, maybe 2-3 points off top 4 or 1 point, we'll be all right. We're gonna sneak away in top 4.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for me, I think we'll do top 4. I think we're going in the right direction, even though we've given a lot of the other teams a bit of a head start. I think we'll be fine. Like seeing Matic play 90 minutes the other day, he played like he's never been away from the team. The key is keeping Varane fit. Like twice now, Varane's come in and he hasn't looked right. I don't know if they're rushing him back or why they're rushing him back, but we just need to get, and especially with Bailly going to the African Nations Cup now, the key for me is Maguire's got to do some juju or something. He needs to sort himself out, but he's our weak link at the moment. He's our weak link, and if he doesn't shake it up, I think we'll struggle. But yeah, I think if we can keep Varane fit, I saw the other day Twanzedi's gone on loan to Napoli. Like he's another player who's been mismanaged. It's just, how's he gone from not playing in Villa to Napoli? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand like what goes on with the pathway for our players. They just get thrown into the team, and then it's just higgledy-piggledy.
This is
Right.
what I was saying about our
Yes.
youth system. Our youth system is just there to develop players for other teams.
Yeah.
That's it,
seem to wanna-
exactly.
Right.
Check this out.
That's-
Twanzebe
Well-
went from shutting what's his name, Kylian Mbappe down
Yeah.
to go into Napoli. That's crazy, man.
It is what it is. Okay. Everyone had given their prediction. What's your predicted score tomorrow?
I think we'll beat Wolves. We're at home. Like I'm confident when we're at home now. When we was in Volley, I dreaded watching games, but now on the Ragnick and seeing the fight against Burnley, Wolves are a very good team defensively. They don't really give you much. The good thing is Jimenez isn't the same player he was before his injury, and I think the players are up for it. Like I saw the clip of Cavani where people were saying that he's thinking he's leaving, but I saw the Ragnick talking that he's one of our important players, and I think keeping him fit and he looks like he wants to do well for the team. Like you can see he's passionate when he scores or when someone scored the other day. I can't remember if it was McTominay, but you could see it in him like he was happy, and I was like,
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah,
not feeling
yeah.
it, but
At
wow.
home.
Yeah, I was like, it's good to see that he's passionate, he's happy, and we need more of that. And Sancho's coming into good form, getting in the team. It's just going to be interesting what happens now that Bruno's back in the team because of the suspension. I just hope he doesn't bring him straight back in because, Bruno's a bit of a liability at the moment. He's a passenger for me at the moment.
And I agree. Well, gentlemen, we have come to that time of the day. It's been a fantastic fire blasting razzmatazz firework, just as we expected in our first show of the new year. I want to thank Adam, who's been up. It's already early for you, Adam. I want to thank Adam from Australia, all the way out there, our part of the world. What time is it for you now, Adam?
10 to 8. So I've been up already since I got up at 4:30 for this.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Thank you very much, Adam. I cannot say thank you enough. Adam, thank you very much for representing
I enjoyed
Australia.
it. It's
Thank
great.
you. The UK crew, Vimo, thank you. Tel Vienna, thank you for joining us. She made her guest appearance in the new year. I
She
appreciate
did.
that. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Kay.
guys.
Kay, you came in late off the bench, but we appreciate your presence representing UK. My American crew, I'm gonna go. Devin, thank you for representing Miami crew. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Happy New Year. My Houston Red Army, I'm gonna start with the controversial Benz. Thank you very much and Happy New Year. And congrats on being a dad. Your baby's 4 weeks old. Congratulations. The Soul Man, Joe, thank you very much for joining us once again with your peaceful diplomatic views. And the smiling one, Chris, representing Houston Red Army. I want to thank you. The Ole disciple.
He's not happy with Bems again.
Chris, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you very much. For those watching us, thank you. Don't forget to
keep giving it to him, Chris. Keep hassling him.
You have a good one.
So thank you, guys. Happy New Year, and we shall all see us after the post-match analysis against Wolves tomorrow. Hopefully, we get a win tomorrow, and that's all it needs. 3 points. Glory, glory.
Man United.
See you guys soon. Take care. God bless. Take care, guys.
See you.
Peace out.